Hello, everyone. Welcome to Raccoon Sky Pirates. So, before I explain what that is, I have a little bit I have to read to y'all. First off, hello and welcome to Rook and Rasp's IGDN Diversity Scholarship Marathon. This weekend, Rook and Rasp is hosting a marathon in support of the IDGN Diversity Scholarship Fund. 3 days and 35 volunteers answered the all call to aid. Now, who exactly is the IGDN? The Indie Game Developer Network, IGDN, is an organization that brings together and supports indie game developers. You'll see them at conventions like Gen Con, Origins, GameholeCon, and more, bringing fresh new indie games. This year, over 400 games competed in their Indie Groundbreaker Awards, celebrating diversity, innovation, originality, all focused on the field of game creation. One of the greatest causes is their diversity scholarship. It gives money, sorry. It gives money to recipients that then receive the aid to help attend the game industry conventions like Metatopia. And it also provides them with a mentor from the industry to help guide them on their path to game development. So today, we all have a chance to help them out and also have some fun. You'll notice on the marquee, there's a GoFundMe address, some expenditures, opportunities. If you decide to support the stream and purchase something, be sure to mention it in the chat. And all funds raised during this stream, during this game, it all goes to the scholarship fund. So I mentioned expenditures, and we're also playing Raccoon Sky Pirates. Before you, you see 4 trash pandas that are trying to steal from me. I am a homeowner in the neighborhood of McNeighborhood. And these raccoons have built a sky ship out of trash from their junkyard, and they're flying through the neighborhood to try to break into my house. Now, you can help them or hinder them as they're trying to do this. There's a few different rewards you can buy. If you would like to support us with a $5 donation to the GoFundMe scholarship drive, one of the raccoons will receive a reroll on one of their actions. And when they get the reroll, it'll be the first raccoon that needs a reroll. But I will give you the choice in the text when you make your donation or in the chat box. Say if they keep the highest number or the lowest number. So $5, reroll, high number, low number. For $10, our raccoons will find a piece of trash. Just randomly, maybe it's on their ship, maybe it's on the ground, maybe it's floating through the sky. But they will find a piece of trash, and you get to decide what that trash is. $10, give them trash. At the end of the game, the amount of trash they have determines how renowned they are, how well known they are in the junkyard for their exploits. They can also use trash to fix problems on the ship, which is going to be new for my players. They haven't heard that one before. So give them useful trash or give them an inflatable dinosaur costume. Your call. For $15, you can add a complication card to the game. You will see what those are in a little bit, but long story short, they make things more interesting. For $20, you get to remove a complication card from the game and make things easier for the raccoons. Why would you do that? There's a reason it's more expensive to remove and help. For $25, don't worry guys, we're almost there. For $25, one of our players will monologue their epic trash panda, raccoon, pirate backstory. You can buy this up to 5 times, one for each player. And I said 5, yes, that does include me. I'm obviously not a trash panda or a raccoon sky pirate. Instead, you will be getting a monologue from Greg, the security guard of the HOA.
I don't know. I like Gred.
Yeah.
Gred? All right, his name is now Gred. Gred Smith. And then last but not least, for $50, you get to control the outcome. You pick one raccoon, and you decide if the next roll they make automatically succeeds or automatically fails. There's a reason that one's expensive. Now, John, if you could please put in the chat, I also have a secret objective my players don't know about. What is
Okay.
the scholarship currently at? Do we have a number? Before the start of the stream, I should have looked this up. I'm so sorry, everyone. I failed y'all.
Think it was 6,000 total.
Last I saw, it was 775, but I don't know what it's
It
currently
is
at.
currently sitting
825.
at 825.
So it's currently sitting at 825. Matthew Orr donated 5 already. So we were at 820 then. So if we raise a certain amount of money before scene 2, something will happen to the players. If we raise another certain amount of money by scene 4, another thing will happen to the players. John, I'll trust you to share that in the chat. You should have the details. All right. I've talked enough. I'm going to shut up now and let my players introduce themselves. And we will start with SiSi.
Hi, I'm SiSi. You can find me anywhere on the internet at CSilencio. This is, I think, my 4th stream with Rick and Rasp, but this has been a really great group. And I am going to be today playing Kit. She is a kawaii raccoon, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Alrighty. Erin.
I'm Erin. I'm the other half of Escape Box Games. I've been on several Rick and Rasp streams. I love it over here, and I make it everybody's problem. And today, I will be playing Rabies Eddie.
All right. Ala.
Hi, I'm Ala. I'm some places as Alazilla, and I am semi-regular on Rick and Rasp, depending on the show. And today I am playing the Brissa, who is our inventor raccoon, which goes to say it's basically chaos, but slightly more controlled. There's probably some science to it.
And last but not least, Chris.
Everyone, my name is Chris. You can find me usually around the internet as the Hussman. And today I have also been had the pleasure of running a couple of Rook and Rasp streams as well, Rook and Rasp streams. And today I am playing the cunning, deft, and stylish swashbuckler known as Brisket Jack.
Alrighty. Now, each of these characters, it has a bit of a start to the game. Kind of like Powered by the Apocalypse does, where you make connections with each character. So, going in the same order that I had you introduce yourselves, let's look at our character sheets and go down to that first making your character. So, SiSi, if you would please tell us, what characteristics did you choose for Kit, and what is your desired trash that Kit wants to take away from this adventure?
Ooh. So, hold on. When we're looking at this, are you talking about like the little look checkboxes and stuff like that?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. So for my look, I decided to go with the kawaii look, if you couldn't tell. So we went ahead and did that for the anime look. And then the desired piece of trash that Kit wants is she wants to find some sort of whether it's a broken action figure or something, but specifically of an anime character that she knows from one of her shows.
Alrighty.
If it's it can be a poster, it can be like a action figure, just like
And
one of those little pop things, whatever it is. She just wants something
the
to
figure pops?
yeah,
All right, something small and meaningful.
exactly.
SiSi, one last thing. What are your 3 adjectives for Kit? What are your 3 actions?
They are sneaky, sensitive, and YOLO.
This will make sense later on. All right, Erin, Rabies Eddie. Could you please give us Eddie's look and personal goal?
Well, I did unfortunately just see that I could be one-eared. I'm not going to pull one of those off right now and screw up all the audio. So I have a 1,000-yard junkyard stare.
All right, and
And
personal goal.
steal something no one else could appreciate. And of course, no one could possibly appreciate as Rabies Eddie appreciates fine art.
All right. A rabid raccoon that wants to steal fine art. Akyla. Oh, wait, sorry. What is Rabies Eddie's 3 adjectives?
Strong, aggressive, and YOLO.
Okay. Akyla.
Oh, hey everyone. I'm the Brissa. Let's see. Obviously I went with the flight cap and goggles, but you don't see my flight cap because there wasn't really much room for the ears, so I just tossed it and kept the goggles. My goal is to test a new invention. Most of my inventions have been explosive, but this one's gonna work, and it's gonna be great. And for it specifically, I'm gonna need some D batteries, and those are kind of hard to find these days. Zoomers are all about small batteries.
All right. Go ahead, Chris. Oh, wait, sorry. Vibrissa, what are your 3 adjectives?
I'm cunning, inventive, and YOLO.
Okay. Man, you all have YOLO. Go ahead, Chris.
So Brisket Jack, he is rather sly and mischievous, and that usually manifests in the form of dance moves of some sort, and also in multiple changing accents, as he does not want to feel held down by one singular way of speaking. His personal goal throughout this journey, which we are about to undertake, is to stage a daring rescue. Now, however, in his case, it does not need to be successful for it to be daring. So, successful or not, he just wants to stage a daring rescue. That is all he wants to do. Now, the one thing that Brisket Jack wishes to steal more than anything else, and how will it improve life in the junkyard, is he very much wants a fancy sword-shaped metal letter opener. He has those cocktail swords that he uses right now, but they are far too small for his little raccoon hands. But yet he still uses them. But they are plastic and they break easy. He wants a metal one because the metal one will look really good. And of course, it will class up the junkyard because I'll be wearing it, of course. I mean, how else would there be? So, and of his 3 adjectives which describe him are, as I have said before, he is cunning, he is deft, and he is stylish.
Oh.
Oh,
Now, Chris, I'm actually going to go reverse, so you get to go again here.
that's wonderful. I'm ready to go.
You get relationships connections, as I mentioned.
I do.
It says to ask the raccoon to your left. Now, we're on a stream, so the raccoon to your left is going to be Akyla, Vibrissa.
Excellent. Excellent. So, the question I'm going to ask you is, where is our favorite place to adventure together?
The junkyard. It's
Ah.
I mean, it's our home, but it keeps changing. It's dynamic. There's always new stuff to find, new villains to destroy. Those possums moving in on our turf.
Oh, yes, those damned possums always interfering with our business. They clearly don't understand the proper pecking order of things. Yes, yes, I agree with you. It is a very dynamic, constantly changing place. The large humans always just throwing all kinds of stuff in there.
All right, so following that, Akyla, you're up next, and you got SiSi to your left.
Okay. You've been my eager test pilot before. What happened to my most recent invention?
Exploded. I don't know if you remember, but I remember we kind of put that thing together. It was supposed to help us, warm up our food, and instead it blew up dinner. So
I mean, it got warmer, right?
It did get warmer, and we could still eat some of the scraps that were left, but not a lot. That was a real waste of that deli meat.
Well,
Poor
I
deli meat.
applaud your efforts in pushing that start button, but you know what? The Microvave volume V3, that's gonna work. I just need those deep batteries.
I believe in you.
All right, SiSi, Erin is to your left.
Okay, Erin. Or Rabies Eddie. Do you find me cute or annoying? Why?
So cute. Because you're so small. Just compact, incredibly compact, can get into really tiny little spaces, and you have those ears that are just a little too big for your head, but it's adorable and constantly just so cute.
Thank you.
All right, Erin. Process of elimination. Chris is to your left.
All right, Chris. What happened the last time you got in my way?
Well, that's an interesting story. You see, I was in the midst of doing one of my rather sly dance routines, and I happened to get right in front of you, and it was kind of the finale of the routine, the kind of the big jazz hands final feature of it all, and I made the mistake of getting in front of you when you were in the midst of a charge, and well. I didn't really see that happen, and I was kind of caught up in the moment, and you knocked me over like a bowling pin on a 7-10 split. And I went flying one way, you went flying another way. You happened to land into a jar of warm mayonnaise, and I happened to land into a jar of a hardened yogurt. And though it was a funny moment at the time, it took a good 2 weeks to get all that stuff off, and it just really it did, I don't want to say it drove a wedge in between us, but it sure caused problems at least for the next week or so because the smells even for us raccoons were not necessarily great.
That is how I remember it, but it was a bit of a bonding situation.
It was a bit of a bonding situation, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh man, hot mayonnaise and hard yogurt.
Okay, don't make me
Tasty.
hungry. I haven't had lunch yet.
Which a lot of people don't know was actually a 70s crime duo.
Oh yeah.
Mayo.
I want to be hot mayo out of that combo. Yeah. All righty.
Hard yogurt,
Moving
I always had to turn in
on.
his badge.
Our raccoons, as I mentioned, have built a skyship out of trash they found randomly around the junkyard. I'm sure Vibrissa probably did most of the work with the others fetching and getting. But Vibrissa, since you did most of the work, I'm going to start with you on this one. How does the airship float? And I'm going to read through the options here for the audience since they can't see the options. There's hot air, hydrogen or helium, swamp gas, dozens of helicopter blades, mechanical wings, fucking magnets, Tesla coils, cavorite, dark energy, or the fifth element.
What, the Mach 1 used fucking magnets. That didn't work out for us. So we're trying something completely different this time. And we're using a very potent resource that we have here in abundance. It's swamp gas. This time we're going to fly with swamp gas.
All right. Daring, using swamp gas to fly.
It's very explosives.
Interesting choice. Very interesting choice. Alrighty. Erin, I'm going to go with you next. Is the airship fast, quiet, sturdily armored, tightly fastened together, maneuverable, or well armed?
I'm going with fast.
All right. It is fast. All right. That goes. Let's take SiSi next. SiSi. Is the airship quiet, sturdily armed, tightly fastened together, maneuverable, or well armed?
It's maneuverable.
Okay, so we have a fast, maneuverable airship. That means it is noisy, vulnerable, rickety, and unarmed. Choices. Lots of choices.
We painted flames on the side.
Obviously.
Yes.
The flames make it go fast.
Mhm.
Now, Chris, that means you get to have the fun one.
Okay.
Would you tell me, there's a vehicle that y'all found somewhere in the junkyard. I don't know what that vehicle is. I don't know how you found it. But could you tell me, is it a 72 Volkswagen Beetle? a 57 Caddy DeVille, or is it a school bus?
Oi, well, here's the deal. It's actually the bus, but what makes the bus special is that the S and the H were actually scraped off, so we actually found a cool bus.
Nice.
It's the only acceptable kind of bus.
Exactly. It had to be a cool bus. And so we took it. We painted flames on it, lit it with swamp gas.
All right.
The cool bus.
The cool bus.
Well, that
That
takes
is
us
us in the cool bus.
back to Akyla then.
No
Akyla,
mess, no fuss.
what did I get myself into?
Thus.
Akyla, if we have a cool bus, could you tell me what home appliance did you wrangle into the ship? You couldn't do the microwave, so did you go the food processor, the vacuum cleaner, or the washing machine?
Yeah, we went with a washing machine. For one, it just looks cool, and we have no idea what it does, but it has a lot of buttons on it, and it sings a happy little song. So, it's really, it's to keep us happy.
Okay.
I need to know, what is the happy little song?
Have you ever used a Samsung washing machine? It has a little chime that is, it's far more exciting than it should
Sing
be.
me the song of your people, Al.
And it's
I don't know,
I
can
can't
we
do
do that on stream?
It's so long, and it's honestly a problem. But if you know where to find it, you can find it on the internet and just listen to it. That's our battle cry.
We just ding 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 ding.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on, actually.
Yeah.
It's like longer than Inagata Vita. It just goes on and on and on. You can, yeah, it's just
Like, your dry is done. Get your stuff out of the machine.
Now, Erin's next, but SiSi, you're going to close us off with a quirk, so start thinking now. Erin,
Ooh.
what carnival ride is in the ship? Is it the octopus ride, the gravitron ride, or the zipper?
I kind of want the octopus. I like all of the extra boo-doo-doos happening on it.
Okay. All the extra arms sticking out. That's a choice. But
Aha!
that is your choice. All right. And finally, SiSi, what quirk does our ship, the good ship, Dumpster Fire, have?
So I think that the way that it ends up moving around is actually instead of like an engine, it runs on balloons. So all the swamp gas is in the balloons, and you gotta inflate them and deflate them as we go, so that we can move faster and make turns. And if we really need to get out of the air fast, you just chop all those strings, and then it's fine. There's plenty of seats on that school bus. You can get a cushion. It'll be fine.
Totally fine.
Everything's
It's fine.
fine.
Everything is under control. Yeah. Now, you've built the good ship, the Dumpster Fire. You've tested out the Mach 1, which ran on magnets, and it didn't go so well. But, this adventure, it's going to be different. It's going to go, you're going to fly on these balloons filled with swamp gas, and it's going to be great. So, launching day. Let's see. Chris, you got to launch us during the last adventure. Let's go ahead and give someone else a chance. Let's go with Erin. You get to
Choices.
pick how we launch.
Okay.
For the audience, the way this works is each raccoon at the bottom of their character sheet, they have a table labeled 1 through 12. And each of those lines on the table, there's a description of how their raccoon goes about doing whatever they're doing. And next to that description are adjectives. Now, before they roll on the table, They give a rough description of what they're going to try to do, and they choose which adjective they're going to try to do it with. They can roll on the table, and if they get a line that has the adjective they used, they succeed. If they don't, then things will get a little interesting.
Boo.
Yeah, boo. Now, to help them out, they get 3 complication cards. I told you you'd find out about these later on. So as I'm describing these, everyone go ahead and draw your 3 complication cards to your hand. So there are 4 scenes in Raccoon Sky Pirates. There's getting to the house, breaking into the house, stealing as much stuff as they can before they get caught, and then fleeing back to the junkyard where they're ill-gotten gains. Each scene, they get 3 complication cards. These complication cards are, if they fail at an action, they can play a card. And what those cards do is there's a brief little blurb on the cards that says how things go wrong, and they put it into play. Now, let's give an example. I'm going to draw one. I'm assuming you all got your 3, so I'm going to draw one here for me to look at. A wing or fin is... Uh-oh. It's coming loose. In this case, it'd be one of the balloons is coming loose. So they really desperately want to succeed at whatever they're doing. So instead of failing, they take their complication card and they play it on the table. And they describe how they succeed at what they're doing, but how it caused that complication or how the complication was involved with it. Now, after that, the complication card stays in play. And they affect different things. That wing or fin is coming loose would affect the rivets of the ship. So the next time someone fails, something bad is also going to happen to the rivets. Now, if someone fails, sees there's a complication card, doesn't want to fail, and they play their complication card, well, now we have 2 complication cards in play. And the next person to play one, or the next person to go, if they fail, that's 3 things that go wrong with the ship. In total, they have 6 potential things that could go wrong. The ship is straining, which causes no negative side effects. It's just, ooh, things aren't good. Something goes wrong with the helm, which makes the ship harder to steer. The ship suddenly becomes even louder than it already is. It's that darn cool bus engine in there, keeping everything cool. The rivets come loose, which makes their ship vulnerable to attacks. The gears start coming off, which means the ship stops being cool. Since you're running on swamp gas-filled balloons, we'll figure it out. Just go with it. And the 6th problem is the ship explodes. They don't want 6 problems to
Please.
get marked off.
Oh.
So this is where you all can come in. If you would like to mess with the raccoons, you can pay $15 for me to add a complication to the scene. If you want to be nice to the raccoons, you can pay $20 to remove a complication that's in play and get rid of it so they don't have to worry about it. Now, the downside is raccoons can only play 1 complication card per scene out of the 3 that they get. And I'm going to say this. If someone randomly adds a complication and there's no more left for me to add, I'm going to choose someone and tell them 1 through 3, and that's the card they have to play. Going from left to right. If someone is nice and removes complications, whoever played that complication, it'll act like they never played it, and they can play another one that same scene.
Ooh.
There's a reason that one's more expensive. It basically gives them a guaranteed success.
Nice.
Ooh, that was a lot of talking. Now, we've had a few donations. I would like to give a shout out. So Matthew Orr donated $5 to give one of our raccoons a reroll. Matthew, if you could please put in the chat if you want that raccoon to keep the highest number or the lowest number. I'd appreciate it. We also have a $10 gift from Anonymous. If you might remember, $10 means you find a piece of trash. And in that school bus, tucked away underneath one of the seats of the school bus, you all have found a preteen girl's 1980s overlay, saturated color hue unicorn diary.
Oh my god.
Now, we also
Thanks.
have an additional $10 donation from Kori. Thank you, Kori. I do not have a description of an item, so Kori, please in the chat put what that item is that they found, and they'll get it eventually. But for now, as promised, Rabies Eddie, you get to launch us. Could you please describe how this goes?
Setting the scene. It's dusk. The sun is setting over the trash yard. We're all standing in front of our ship, the dumpster fire, proud of our work and our progress. And Rabies Eddie takes a deep breath, gets in all that trash yard stink, and just lets out a soft YOLO. And we're ready to go. I'm using YOLO. Sorry, I don't know if that was clear or not.
YOLO. All right, so you are going to roll that D12 table and get a 2.
Which means I have a hole in something, but I do succeed.
But Matthew Orr paid for a re-roll. And that just happens to be whoever the first one is. Erin, could you please re-roll that die and I'll tell you which one you get to keep.
What do? That is a 1, which fires the ship's weapons and makes weapons from trash, which also has YOLO in it.
Matthew chose
Succeed.
to keep the lower of the 2 numbers.
So I make a hole in something.
You rolled a 1. That's lower than 2.
Lower? I don't math well. I'm sorry, y'all.
That's why she has rabies.
That's technically does not have rabies.
Make a weapon from. Shut up! It's my identity. Make a weapon from trash. I just get to make a weapon now?
Yep, but it's gonna unfortunately be left behind because the ship is unarmed. Y'all chose that.
That's okay. Rabies Eddie had this whole thing prepared. It's an umbrella apparatus that actually like fires multiple umbrellas and causes a distraction. He was really proud of it. Totally forgot it.
Okay. So please give us a description of how your YOLO umbrella weapon contraption launches the ship filled with swamp gas, a cool bus, the octopus ride, and a washing machine.
The place where Rabies Eddie forgot the umbrella firing gun was under the ship. So that goes off because Rabies Eddie is not the inventor, setting off the ship and setting us fast on our adventure.
All right. And that does succeed. Erin, you get to move the ship. If you look at the map, there is a tiny little raccoon sticking its head between a toilet seat, which is going to be one of the portholes. Could you please pick, would you like to go to the chemical plant, the electrical substation, or the one-day shipping warehouse?
Something we have not discussed. Where are our raccoons going?
Oh, yes.
Very good
Raccoons.
point.
You have 4 choices here, and you do actually get to pick any of those choices. Would you like to go to, let's see. Would you like to go to, looking at the map, you have a bungalow with old wooden trim. You have a ranch house with an open floor plan. You have a McMansion that is a smart house. And you have the 1980s brick house with a 4-car garage.
McMansion?
McMansion.
Mansion?
Here for the McMansion.
All right,
McMansion.
we're going for the expensive one, the McMansion. So, Rabies Eddie, go ahead and move us one
right.
space. And again, you get to choose the chemical plant, the electrical substation, or the one-day shipping warehouse.
So Rabies Eddie is actually going to pick the one-day shipping warehouse because that will have the highest variety of cool things.
Okay. Now, I have bad news for everyone, or good news, depending on how things go. We have a $20 donation from Personal Thunderfunk. And normally a $20 donation would be remove a complication card. But Personal Thunderfunk chose not to do that. Instead, the next roll every raccoon makes, they have to re-roll.
Thanks, Kaitlyn.
So, I'm going to let y'all choose who goes next. Rabies Eddie has officially moved the ship, so can't go again right now. Whoever goes next, you have 3 options. You can either move the ship, you can try to steal a piece of trash from the one-day shipping warehouse, or if there was a problem with the ship or a complication, you could try to resolve one of those and get rid of it. There's no problems, no complications, so whoever goes next, you can either steal from the shipping warehouse or move the ship.
I'm thinking we should steal something.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Let's steal something.
All right,
Hey,
who's
raccoons do cry.
gonna steal?
I'll steal.
Okay, Kit. How do you make your way from your balloon ship down into the warehouse? And what are you trying to steal here?
So we've got so many balloons above us here. I think what I do is I scramble up one of the balloon strings and I hold on to it so it slowly floats me down into this shipping warehouse. And
What adjective do you think this is going to be?
I think that this is gonna be YOLO.
Oh man, YOLO. Everyone's using the YOLO. Okay. Well, before we find out what you steal, let's see if you successfully YOLO your way down to the ship. If you could please roll the die twice. And I don't see... Personal Thunderfunk did not choose high or low. So, Personal Thunderfunk, if you're still watching, quickly in the chat, choose high or low for the players. In the meantime, SiSi, I see a 7. What was your other roll?
That was the first roll.
Okay.
So the first roll was a 7. The second one's a 4.
And Thunderfunk chose you keep the lower. What is the 4 on your table?
Okay, let's see here. 4. Acquire something another raccoon needs and pass it to them. So I think
What adjectives does it have? Sorry.
it's got sneaky, sensitive, and YOLO, so I can use any of them. So it is
Nice.
successful. And I want to say that this is where, it's a shipping warehouse. They're going to be opening boxes and stuff. And I think with the idea that my dear friend Brisket Jack is over here trying to find his little letter opener. I don't think I'm going to find a letter opener, but I think I'm going to find a box cutter with the dullest blade, just because like someone uses it every day to just like cut through all that tape, and so it's not super effective anymore. But it's a box cutter. It'll do the thing if you try real hard.
It feels more like a box massager because the blade is so soft now. It just sort of just kind of helps to smooth things out and relieve sore aching raccoon muscles.
Exactly.
It's a little box scratcher.
A little
Now-
box scratcher. Ah, yes.
Kit, as you're trying to pull that box scratcher off of the box it's attached to, it's stuck on something, and you give it a good yank, and you look down and you realize you've ripped a package that it was on, but somehow there is the box cutter, a piece of gum, the packaging, and then maybe it's magnets or something, you don't know, but there's a USB flash drive attached to it.
Ooh. I love
Now,
it.
our raccoons doesn't know what this means, but inside that USB flash drive is 300 Dogecoins, courtesy of Kori. Too bad our raccoons don't understand cryptocurrency.
Not as far as you're aware.
Rabies Eddie knows nothing about cryptocurrency.
We're going to a McMansion. I'm sure we can trade them something.
Very true.
Maybe if they have a dog, we can pay the dog off.
Man, this is going well. So far, y'all are up to 3 pieces of trash already, and you've only gone to one place.
Woo!
All right. Ala and Chris, who wants to go next?
I will defer to my warm mayo inventor friend.
Well,
Oh, no, wait, no, that was the other person. I will refer to my adventuring partner.
all right. Let me. This is going to be a good place to get more stuff. Everything else, until we get to the McMansion, could be a dud. If we're going to find anything of use, it's going to be here. So I'm going to try and find it. And I'm going to go about it in a controlled manner. This is a large warehouse. I'm just going to carefully set our bus down on the roof with very controlled releases of swamp gas.
Okay, and which adjective are you using for this?
Cunning.
Cunning. Ooh, cunningly setting the ship down. Go ahead and give us 2 rolls. You got an 11 and an 8. Now, he did pick, thank you, Thunderfunk, you will keep the lower of the 2. So what is 8 for Vibrissa?
Okay, well, it is unfortunately inventive.
Oh, not cunning.
So, as this is the action is to harness a force raccoons were not meant to meddle with, and that is apparently swamp gas. I've released a little too much swamp gas. Let's see.
I'll do that sometimes.
Don't be ashamed.
And I'm going to play a complication card that I have.
No. All right, our first complication card is played.
I release a little too much of the swamp gas, and a fog blankets the neighborhood, making it hard for us to find our way out of it. So this poor Amazon warehouse is just covered in smog.
Swamp
Disgusting.
gas smog.
Smells foul. Swamp gas fog. It's a smog. But yeah. Can I still
Well-
get my item?
You did still succeed. What item would you like to steal from successfully setting down on the top of the warehouse and giving everyone access to it?
Well, everything is kind of in a box here, so I'm in a rush. I'm trying to find something that's relatively small, hoping to find my battery. And I grab a smaller box, bring it onto the ship, and as I'm frantically trying to open it with my opposable thumbs, yeah, it's a Bluetooth speaker, but it's like one of them little ones, like a hockey puck sized, and it automatically syncs with a washing machine.
I'll allow it.
How is this happening?
All right.
Do.
Just now it echoes.
Chris, would you like to also try to steal something from the warehouse, or would you like to move the ship? Or deal with the complication?
I think it is time to move on from here. This fog, this swag is very thick, and it is very noxious, even for us raccoons. And we have a mission. We have a mission that we must undertake. So I think it is time to move on to somewhere else.
Alrighty. So looking at the map, you have a couple of choices here. You can choose to go to the airport, the golf course, the electrical substation, or say forget it and just go back to the junkyard.
Well,
And end the game right there.
There is no going back. There is only going forward. We are going to. Brisket is somewhat distracted. He's in the midst of trying to snuff things out or sniff things out, so to speak. So his nose is leading him in the direction of jet fuel, and he's going to pick the airport. We're going to go towards the airport.
Okay. And Rook and Rasp, if you haven't shown everyone the map, if you could please go ahead and show them the map of the neighborhood so they can see the path that our ship is taking so far. You're sniffing it out, and Chris, what adjective would you say this is?
I think that it is time to go there, but go there in a good looking manner. So Brisket is going to commence dancing, and in an effort to get everybody back on the ship and get us relaunched. And he finds some socially aware gas to replace the swamp gas to get back in the balloons. So it's helium, and we're going to use that to fill the balloons and get back up in the air. So I'm thinking this is probably, because he's dancing, I'm thinking it's going to be stylish.
I'll give it to you. All right, stylish. Roll twice, and Thunderfunk would also like you to keep the lower. You
Well,
got
I
a
can't get much
1
lower than 1, but I'll re-roll anyway because I might get another 1. Okay,
and
7.
a 7. Okay,
All
1.
right.
What is 1?
1 is I get to use trash in an impressive way, which does fall under cunning, deft, and stylish. So Brisket is successful in his efforts.
Okay, so what I'm going to say here is, unfortunately, the trash isn't going to be kept since you chose to pilot the ship. But I'm going to say you do indeed find some helium tanks that you use to refill the deflated balloons. And you successfully navigate your way down into the airport. Go ahead and move us down there. Now, you're lucky you succeeded in that one. If you had failed, I was going to make you guys get lost and go to the electrical substation because of all the smog everywhere. All right, at this point, all 4 of you have gone. Anyone can go next. You are at the airport. Who would like to go?
Look at all these substandard airships. They're not nearly as nice as ours, as the cool bus.
They're so
Nowhere near.
sleek and white. Why do they do that? So boring.
It is. It's very boring. It's very boring.
Well, I'm assuming this is also at night, so most of their airships are asleep and put away.
Oh,
They have
yes,
to take their
that's
little airship
Sleep
naps.
is for the weak.
Exactly. That's why the good ship dumpster fire is so great.
Exactly.
yes, yes, it is.
The
Well,
dumpster
if no one
fire
else
cool
will go
bus.
for it, Rabies Eddie is gonna try and get into that airport.
Okay. And what you looking for?
I am looking for old in-flight posters.
Okay. And
Ooh.
how are you going about doing this?
Rabies Eddie. How does Rabies Eddie want to do this? He scurries down from the airship and has found the loading bay that like all of the airport luggage goes in and out of, where all they put it on the boats, ships, airplanes. They put it on
Things. Yeah.
the vehicles that go through the air and not the water. Finds the in and out of the luggage, and finds his way in that way to go find posters that are being tossed out.
Okay. So is this a aggressive, a strong, or a YOLO?
Strong, because he's using his little raccoon arm strength to move around.
Okay. Go ahead and give us your 2 rolls, and you are also keeping the lowest.
Okay. So the first one's a 12.
Oh.
And the lower one is an 8. Which is a failure for me because that's aggressive. Use the ship's car, home appliance, or carnival ride with mean intent. So what Rabies Eddie is going to end up doing is just look with disdain at all these boring, white, sleek airships, and is going to get on one of the arms of the octopus carnival ride and just whip it down and just graze the top of one because I don't know. Yeah, aggressive. Graze the top of the ship.
Okay. Now, would you like to take the failure, or would you like to do a complication card?
Application cards we have because they are teeny tiny on my screen. Dun, 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 engine. Fierce storm. You know what? We're gonna go with the full moon reveals your ship to anyone who may look up.
Oh, no.
Mm.
There we go. All right. So, as you're bringing the octopus arm down, it swipes some of the swamp gas fog away, and the bright light of the full moon shines down, perfectly illuminating the ship as you damage an airplane. Now, since you used a complication card, that means you actually succeeded in your task. And the airplane you damaged, it was an old junker that you didn't know they'd stashed away somewhere for some reason. And as the octopus arm rips through it, you are pleasantly surprised to find attached to the arm is indeed one of the old 1990s travel guides.
Nice.
All right, who would like to go next?
A lovely map. I'll go.
Okay. Now, at this point, Thunderfunk, I believe all 4 of your rerolls have been used. Thank you very much for that. Everyone else, you are stuck with what you got.
I feel a failure coming, so I think I shall. I'll take the reins. Let us, now that we have this excellent travel guide map with all these lines and directions, let us use it to move on again. And Brisket Jack will make his way in and around through the cool bus, up and down, over and under seats, towards the front of the bus, and he will have the map in his hand or the travel guide in his hand, and he will point in a random direction saying, this is the way we must go.
Okay. What are you using? Are you being stylish? Are you being daring? Are you being deft?
I think he is being very deft in his motions in navigating all the way to the front of the school bus. Or the cool bus. There is a lot of things in the way.
Okay.
Well, we can go that way.
Going with deft. Go ahead and give us that roll.
All right. I got an 11.
Uh-oh.
I get in over my head, and this is stylish. I did indeed sense a failure was coming, and I have achieved said failure.
Would you like to play a complication card, or...
I absolutely would, because this complication card works perfectly here. I couldn't have asked for a better complication card. The complication card is air traffic control is contacting you. So apparently we know who saw the cool bus. So I think what is happening is that when Brisket Jack gets to the front and he is pointing in a random direction, the CB radio that is in the cool bus suddenly goes off, and it is air traffic control, and they're asking, what the hell are you doing, and who the hell are you?
Unidentified object at Sector C8. Could you please give us your call sign?
Not as being one to speak English, Brisket Jack will know, he does know how to activate the CB, and so he will click the thing and he'll go.
Didn't get any of that.
Oh no! It didn't come through.
Nope.
Let me back up. Okay, so he'll click the little CB answering thing and go.
Got the start of the duka. Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
Okay. All right, you see, you get the idea. My mic, for some reason, isn't picking that up.
Was that a raccoon? I don't know. It might have been an alien. Do we have aliens? I don't know. Better call the Air Force. I don't know.
You did reference it as an unidentified flying object, so...
Yep. All right. Chris, you succeeded with your complication card, so go ahead and move the ship. Would you like to backtrack to the one-day shipping warehouse, go to the golf course, visit the Walmarget P.O. box store, or go down to the farm?
I smell more boxes, more trash this way. This way, to the Walmarget.
Okay. Now, we have 3 complications cards played. Who is the one person who hasn't played one? Erin has, Chris has, Ala, SiSi. Okay, SiSi, you're the last one that can still play one. Now, this is where I will point something out to y'all. Each of the parts of the ship that you used, the wrecked car, the home appliance, the carnival ride, they have keywords attached to them. So, for example, your school bus allows you to just randomly find a useful piece of trash. No roll needed, you just do. The home appliance, you chose the washing machine. The washing machine allows you once per scene to remove a complication card from play. And the carnival ride, all it does is it just lets you reach out with long arms. So, Chris is gone. You have moved. Erin has gone. You have stolen a travel guide. So, SiSi and Akyla, you two are up next.
So I think I'd like to try and use the washing machine. And what I want to do is I want to get it nice and filled up with some water. And I want to start throwing it kind of out into the air to get rid of some of that smog that's out there. Kind of clear it out, move it out of the way so that we can see where we're going once again.
Okay.
And
Now, the
she's
cool
just
thing
using her
is,
little tiny hands to.
you just succeed. It happens. No need to roll. So, go ahead and I will remove that fog card. It is now gone.
Heck yeah.
And you are just dealing with the full moon perfectly highlighting your ship and air traffic control, sending someone to investigate the weird unidentified flying object that just left the airport.
Dramatically
Shawn
highlighting the ship.
Ooh.
Shawn has paid $25, and he would like to aid the players by gifting them rerolls. Now, Shawn, this is where I have bad news for you. You can't aid them by buying them rerolls. It's all random. When you buy a reroll, they keep the high number or the low number, and you pick when you make your donation. So you might help them, you might not. Don't know. That's why it's $5. So if you would like to help them, you have paid $25. You could use 20 to remove one of the 2 complication cards for them, which actually does help them quite a bit potentially. And it leaves a reroll as well on the table. Or you could pay the $25 to have one of our raccoons monologue how they got into this pirating life. I will give you a couple seconds to make that choice. All right. SiSi successfully used the washing machine. Kit removed this fog, which means, Vibrissa, you're the last one to go. What would you like to do?
So I have an idea about how to deal with this air traffic controller situation, because I want to get rid of all the complication to make our ride smoother.
Now,
But
before you do that, Shawn has chosen to have one of our raccoons monologue their epic backstory. Shawn, which raccoon would you like that to be? Go ahead and just pick one of the players. Any of the 5 players. I can also monologue if you really want to, but I recommend saving me for later because mine is Greg Smith, the security guard, which they haven't really reached yet.
Does that come with the stutter?
no,
Yes.
I think we should get his backstory.
I mean, you could choose Greg Smith if you'd like.
Gotta
Great.
know who we're
monologue.
dealing with.
That's right.
Akyla,
I won't
Vibrissa.
forget this.
So as you take your action, could you please monologue for a few minutes about how Vibrissa got into this pirating life?
Do we need to set a timer for this? I feel like we need to set a timer to because I think in pre-show discussion we had like 3 to 5 minutes, right?
So
wanted us to
go up
what I'll
to
do
10.
is I'll just.
I did want it to go up to 10, but I will allow 3 to 5.
Well, that's going to be a lot of talking. But the situation.
I warned you all. I told you to prepare a monologue.
This reminds me of my youth. Simpler time. You know, got into this life. It wasn't easy. My mother was a dreamer. She liked to chase things that were shiny. Some things maybe a little bit too shiny. I lost most of my family at a young age. We followed her mother, chasing the shiny things into the road. And I spent a good portion of my youth at the Raccoon Hospital. I've been told it's a veterinary clinic where small animals go when they get injured, right? At this clinic, the staff, they had a lot of free time apparently when I was just laying around waiting for my legs to get better. And they like to put on a show. The show is called Stella Hikers. And it was about an enterprising group of people who really like to explore the stars in a fancy ship. I forget what the name was. It had some sort of name. It changed between the seasons. But they had a singular purpose. It was explore new worlds and I guess find all the trash on it. I don't know. I didn't really catch the premise. I don't understand human talk. But they all had really cool uniforms and they were all about exploring the stars. You know what I realized? Humans shouldn't keep the stars to themselves. We see the stars on a regular basis. We should be able to touch the stars. So I got to thinking. And I had a lot of time to think between watching the shows and waiting for the anesthesia to hit, what if I could make ships that could reach the stars? Because I really want to get up there. I want to touch those stars. I want to put them in a nice bowl of water and really feel them in my hands. Like, what do they feel like? Do they taste like? What do they taste like? I bet they taste magical. Probably just mostly sugar. Anyway, so I spent about 3 months, which I don't know how would that translate to people years. But it's a long time. I lost count. Spent it in this veterinary hospital.
You have hit 2.5 minutes. You can keep monologuing for another minute if you'd like to.
You told me to get ready for like 10 minutes, so I can do this all day.
That was wildly inspiring, actually.
In that case, you can keep going if you'd like. Just let us know when we're good to play again.
Moral of the story is, at some point, I got out of there. They said I was recuperating. My leg mostly works, but my brain is still shot, and that's what matters. And since that day, I've wanted to build bigger and better things until I can get up into the sky and really put my paws on that moon. Because it's big. It's like a big old piece of cheese or something, and I'm gonna put it in the biggest pool I can find, and it's gonna be amazing. And I don't like these humans talking to us on a communicator device, so I'm gonna try something clever.
Okay. Everyone loved your monologue, and also, I would like to say that Hectic Electron, the person that created Raccoon Sky Pirates, is in the chat and said you have inspired them to look at Raccoon Space Pirates as the next expansion.
Yes.
Gotta touch the big cheese in the sky.
Gotta take a bite out of the big cheese in the sky. Alrighty.
So that said, I'm gonna try something hopefully inventive, and I'm gonna roll the dice because that's going to affect what I use. Let's see what happens, and we get a reroll, right?
I believe everyone has used their reroll at this. Oh no, you do have one reroll. Yep, on the table. Wait, no. Monologue. That's 25. So no reroll. You have a 5.
Perfect.
What is a 5?
I was going for inventive. So I'm gonna build a Rube Goldberg machine to do a thing. And okay, so this is a bit tricky because we don't have a lot of trash to work with, but we still have the washing machine. Although it doesn't wash, it still makes a happy beeps. So what I want to rig up is a series of our smaller arms to just mash the machine on a regular basis, and then it's gonna pipe music through the Bluetooth speaker right into that CB radio, and it's gonna clog up all of their communication channels.
Do you, Greg or Jerry? Is that the Samsung washing machine noise? I don't know.
Your laundry's ready.
Oh, wait. The channels are getting jammed. Oh, I chose a bad day to stop And the Bluetooth speaker will successfully kill the air traffic control complication. And you will still keep the Bluetooth speaker as far as like trash y'all have, but it is busy doing other things, so you can't use it. And well done. Good job getting rid of that complication. At this point, I believe all 4 people have gone, so recycling the order, anyone can go next. Does anyone want to steal anything from the Walmargaret box office?
Margaret. We still want trash and stuff, yeah?
The more the better.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. You know what? Rabies Eddie's getting hungry. So it's snack time. It's snack o'clock. And Rabies Eddie Got the munchies. So let's get some munchies.
Going for them munchies.
Going
All
for
right,
them munchies.
And how is Rabies Eddie going to go for these munchies? Is it strongly, aggressively, or YOLO?
Aggressively, he's hangry.
Valid.
Very valid. Very valid.
That's
4.
4, which has the thing. So Rabies Eddie does attack someone, anyone. Rabies Eddie is not a subtle person. So he goes right in the front door, and there's a greeter at the Walmart. Rabies Eddie hisses, goes for those ankles, because my God, it is time for some Cheetos, and this man is between me and my Cheetos.
Okay. And yeah. The Walmart greeter screams and runs away as Rabies Eddie successfully steals a big party bag size Cheeto bag.
Big
Who would like to go next?
I would actually like to try and steal a piece of trash from the wall Margaret as well.
Okay.
So, Brisket Jack, he's looking and he's watching as Rabies goes in and does what they do. And he's very impressed, but he's slightly distracted and he sees in the distance inside the store, he sees a sign that's hanging there, and he recognizes, though he cannot speak this human English, he recognizes the shape of the letters, and it is the home office section. And he remembers that word, the office. And he remembers that because he has a flashback back to the times when he would watch the people in the trash or in the junkyard. They would often watch reruns. And there was the show that had the similar word, The Office. And one of the characters on there, he can't remember, they kept referring to him as Dwight or something like that, had a sword-shaped letter opener. And he thinks to himself, this is the place where I need to get that. So I need to sneak in there and go and find the one true thing that I am looking for. I need that fancy sword-shaped letter opener. So, not being as bold and as YOLO as Rabies, I decided I must sneak in. And I'm going to go and hop into a basket that is picked up by a customer as they carry me past the initial security greeter. And as we are walking, they go to the seasonal area, which is nearby. That is when I will jump out and run to the home office section to look for my sword-shaped letter opener.
Nice. So you are going with deft. Are you going with stylish, or are you going with cunning?
This sounds to be very cunning for Brisket Jack, so we are hoping that he will be successful.
All right, let's see that roll.
That is a 2. Oh, I inspire other raccoons or conspicuously lead the way, and it does include cunning, deft, and stylish on this.
Nice.
Amazing.
So you are indeed going to get your sword-shaped letter opener. Could you please tell me how this either leads the way or inspires the rest of the gang?
The other 2, or maybe all 3 of them, see me leap into the basket and watch as Brisket goes deeper in to the store and uses the turning of the human as they're looking in the seasonal section. They kind of whip their little basket around. I used that to kind of propel me out of the basket or the little hand basket further down the aisle. Where he's able to charge deep into the store, and there's nothing but treasure to be found. And so that has duly inspired them. And as he finds his sword-shaped letter opener over the PA system on Wall Margaret radio, there is particularly like a crescendo chorus of a particular Christmas song that happens to come up just as a light flickers and the beams come down and veil this letter opener to his eyes. and he reaches forward and grabs it and holds it aloft as if it's some sort of raccoon Excalibur.
Da da da. I don't know if I can finish that. Excellent. Excellent. Well done, Brisket Jack. Now, I have some bad news or
Oh, no.
wonderful news for SiSi. So, SiSi, I'm going to have you go next because Steven, thank you, Steven, has purchased a kit monologue.
Beautiful. I love this. So I'm Kit. I grew up obviously in the junkyard with all my friends here. And my little house was right by the place where the humans like to dump their electronics. So they throw away like their walkie-talkies and their telephonies and their whatever else over there. And one day, someone threw away a television. And I found it. And the glass wasn't broken or anything. And so I tried to mess with it because I've seen the humans sitting in their houses on their big cushions and they watch these TVs and they seem like they're having some fun. So I messed with it and I couldn't get it to work. So I went to Vibrissa and I said, Vibrissa, I want to watch my TV. Please help. And Vibrissa said, absolutely. And came over. And so we messed around with it a bit and suddenly, boom, the TV turned on. And there was this really cool cartoon on and everyone was running around and beating each other up and it was so much fun. And I loved it. And it opened up a whole new world for me. Now, the only channel we got was this cartoon one. But I liked it. The other people weren't quite as excited about it, but I loved it. And so I would watch this all the time. I spent all my time looking for snacks and comfy things to sit on while I watched my TV. And we would go through. And one day, my family came over. My big sister, her name is Bit. Bit came over, and she looked at that TV and she told me, "This is fake. No one can do this." And I said, "I could do that. Don't you tell me. You don't get to decide what I can do." And she said, "That's impossible. That no one can do that." And I said, "I can. Just watch me." And now I go on adventures in between watching TV. You're muted, Ted.
I didn't want to interrupt the monologue, so I muted myself. But that was a 2.5-minute monologue. SiSi, thank you so much for some background on Kit.
Absolutely.
It was very touching. Well done. Well done. And Steven, thank you for buying that for us.
Kawaii raccoon.
But
Now,
what was the show? We have
oh
to
yeah,
know.
what was the show?
Hold on, I was just about to give you that. I need you to let me do my next piece because now.
All right. Continue the monologue. I will shut up, and you finish whenever you're ready.
It's not a continuation of the monologue. It's what Kit's doing with her turn. So now Kit has watched her beloved friend Brisket Jack and her beloved friend Rabies Eddie make their way down into this Walmart. And she decides that she's going to go down too. She's been inspired by Brisket Jack and his adventure. And she's going to jump and she's going to say, "In the name of the moon,
Yes!
I steal from you." And she makes her way into the Walmart.
Yes!
And she wants to steal a Sailor Moon Funko Pop.
This sounds like a YOLO to me.
I'm good with YOLO. Let's see.
I just love the idea of a raccoon running in through the front sliding doors and jumping up and trying to.
So, yes. So I got a 9, and it is a YOLO. So this is a success. And it's
Is
used
it?
It is. So it's use the ship's car, home appliance, or carnival ride recklessly. And so I think I'm gonna use that octopus and I'm gonna use it to reach down so that not only am I like heading down with my funky little hand thing, I'm also sliding down very, very slickly down this octopus leg until I get to the ground.
Nice. Here I was thinking you were going to use it to like launch yourself up into the air and do a magical girl spin pose.
You know, I would love to have done that, but I think Kit mostly likes her feet on the ground. Which is ironic because she flies around all the time, but you know.
That is fair. And man, the Wall Margaret store has been amazing for y'all because 2 of you have found the treasure you were looking for.
Yes.
As there is indeed a sailor. Which Sailor Scout would you like the Funko Pop to be?
Oh, she definitely wanted to be Sailor Moon.
Okay.
With the little pigtails that match her little ears. It's the whole thing.
Okay. And you have successfully gotten yourself a Sailor Moon Funko Pop. And your trash total is up to 8. Well done. Stephen,
God,
again,
I love trash.
thank you for that monologue. All right. Whew. That takes us to either Erin or Akyla. Who would like to go next?
Still eating Cheetos, I think.
Oh, wait. You did already go. That means
Yeah.
Akyla is closing us up.
You know what? We had a great success here, and my good old Rabies Eddie is really enjoying those Cheetos, so I can replenish my swamp gas balloons to get us out of here. So let's use my cunning and pilot us to our next destination, which is the car mechanics garage.
All right. Heading to the car mechanics.
I can probably find some good batteries there, and honestly, maybe some spare parts so we can fix up our washing machine.
You said cunning for this, which I will allow. I also would have allowed inventive or YOLO, considering how you're getting the swamp gas from Eddie. So your choice on which one you're going, and let's see that roll. 9.
I bash on something. Okay, so I'm a little too forceful in getting the swamp gas out of my poor friend Eddie. And I maybe hit a little too hard. So we do get moving, but it creates a little too strong of a wind.
All right, so Akyla played a complication card that is a strong wind threatens to shake the whole ship apart.
Uh-oh.
Really should not let Rabies Eddie have Cheetos.
I thought I could contain it. I totally did not do the math right on that. Should have carried the 1. What is 1? I don't know. How do I math? But yeah. So we get to the car mechanics garage, but you know, it's
a little stinky. You're going pretty fast.
Oh, I see the problem here. Rabies Eddie was eating the flaming hot Cheetos. That's part of the problem. No wonder
the flames
why.
make him go faster. Yes.
You know, if I
This
could
is not
read.
good at all.
All right. Real quick, just for keeping track of things, we have 2 complication cards on the board. We have a strong wind threatens to shake the ship apart, and the full moon is still revealing the ship to anyone who looks. The 2 people that played those cards, if you could please put your raccoon marker on them, just so I know who has played a card and who hasn't, I would appreciate it. And we are now at the mechanic shop. I was going to say the raccoon shop. We're at the mechanics garage. We've all 4 gone, so who would like to go next? Before you say that, again, audience reminder. For $5, you can force them to re-roll their die, and you get to pick higher or lower results. For $10, you get to give them a piece of trash, whatever it is. You tell me. For $15, you can force me to play a complication card and make things more fun for the raccoons. For $20, you can help the raccoons and actually remove a complication card. Yes, it's harder to purposefully help them than to hinder them. For 25, you can force Erin, Chris, or myself to monologue. And for 50, you can automatically control the rolls for one raccoon. Now, I did say one roll. I think I'm going to be nice. I'm going to make $50. You control the next 2 rolls a raccoon of your choice makes, whether they succeed or whether they fail. And there is also that secret challenge, which Rook and Rasp has been putting in the chat. If we can raise $175 by scene 2, something will happen to the players. I will give you a hint. We are currently 3 spaces away from scene 2, and we are just about coming up on 100 of that 175. All right, back to the players, back to the game, and the mechanics garage. Who would like to go first?
Just for rules clarification, the only way to remove a complication would be to use the washing machine on our ship. Am I understanding correctly, or am I?
Officially, that is correct. I will
Okay.
allow you, though, if you would like to sacrifice a piece of trash, you can remove a complication that way. So, an example, Ala did that earlier using the Bluetooth speaker.
Got it. Well, you know what? Then, actually, I think that Brisket Jack would like to go and try and retrieve an appropriate piece of trash to help keep the ship from sinking or from being blown apart by the strong wind.
Okay.
So, to do that, Brisket Jack decides to engage a way of speaking that he saw on a show once that was Kit was watching, I think, one time about a captain in a starship. So he jumps up and he says, "Bones, I need to go and find some wiring down there in the mechanic's garage to help secure the ship. So I need to use the wind to help me to get down there first. So I'm going to grab one of the strings that was used before and swing down in an attempt to get some of that fancy wiring I see in the mechanic's garage to save the ship." And I think this sounds very stylish of him
I
to
would
do.
agree. It does sound stylish to me.
For some reason, he just says, "Spock, watch me." That is
That's
going
a
to be
5.
a 5, which means it fails. Cut something or tie something together. And that is cunning and deft. And I've already played a complication card this round, so I can't do that. So this is fails automatically, correct? Is that?
Yep, and you have to mark 3 problems for the ship. One is the noise, one is the rivets, and then the other is your choice. I recommend straining.
Yes, we're definitely not going to choose explosion. So yes, we will. Straining actually seems thematically appropriate here. The ship's rivets might pop at any moment. So yes, we will choose straining.
Oof. That was a painful one. So
That was a really painful one.
I believe you said you were using one of the balloon strings
Yes.
to get down. That makes sense to me as the thing that was cut. So could you please tell me, as you cut this balloon string to get down and inspire everyone, how does cutting the balloon string suddenly draw everyone's attention to the ship, more so than, I mean, your exploits already have at the airport and the
Yes.
Walmart, right? And
So
how does
go
it
ahead.
also shake the rivets?
So he what Brisket Jack does, he doesn't realize, because obviously he only picked up fragments of the show. There's a in one of the pockets in the cool bus, there's a red shirt that he puts on. So he puts on the red shirt thinking that's part of what he's supposed to do when he's going down on this away mission. And he grabs the string, and it goes, and he completely misjudges the strength of the wind, or a particularly large gust comes up, and he smashes into one of the mechanic's tool racks, and there's just this incredibly loud clattering and clanging and banging of tools and things as stuff is scattered everywhere. And this is the nighttime work crew that's there. And so everybody is now absolutely aware of the ship. And because the string still was tied to his ankle, that actually pulls in the ship, which causes the straining effect as well. And I think in the end, for the a piece of the ship falling out, I think that this actually the string eventually snaps, and one of the balloons then goes off. And so we are slightly balloon. Well, we are not completely balloonless, but we are balloon deficient at this particular point in time.
Fair. Okay, then. Out of nowhere, the ship has suffered a catastrophic failure thanks to Brisket Jack. Thanks, Jack. Now,
Very welcome.
the rest of you can try to repair one of the problems. If you fail, you gotta mark another one off, but you can try. Who would like to go next? Sudden silence as people realized, oh
just
no,
at
we only
once.
have 3 more failures and the ship blows up.
Okay, so okay, so one of our complications is the wind, right? That's something
It
affecting us?
is.
Okay.
You are still a little windy.
Ray Bizzetti would like to alleviate a bit of the wind problem. He's going to go use the bathroom.
Okay.
So Ray Bizzetti realizes that there's a little too much swamp gas happening, and strongly opens a porta potty door that he finds in the work yard, and goes to alleviate some wind.
Okay.
I'm sorry, windows are all
Let's see if you can since the complications are oh no.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Ray Bizzetti makes things worse.
Oh no.
So, I don't know if y'all can see. John, if you can find some way to show them to die. No matter what the raccoon rolls, 12 is always a failure. And Erin indeed rolled a 12. So
We have gotten
Now-
a little bit lucky though.
you have gotten a little lucky in the fact that someone removed a complication. Now, there's no complications currently in play, but what this means is, Erin, you can remove or you can play a complication to automatically succeed.
I can't. I already played a complication.
Yep, but remember I said at the very beginning, if someone does the remove a complication, it negates your play. So
I'm sorry. I entirely forgot about that.
Thank you, Kaylee.
So, Thunderfunk, you just
Thank you for
saved
saving
the
that
ship
raccoon butt.
potentially. So thank you.
Uh,
You helped Eddie successfully
you know what?
stop the wind.
No, not entirely. Oh, no, it went away. There was a card there. Did I get rid of it forever?
It's still there.
It is?
No,
okay.
I see it.
A
fierce storm pummels you.
The Cheeto gas is not getting better, is what's happening.
I told you,
But-
it's those flaming hots, the flaming hot Cheetos. That's just a bad thing.
Bad combo. Not great for Ray Bizzetti.
But that being said, you succeeded in your action to try to redirect the wind a little bit. Would you like to remove the straining, the noise, or the rivets problem? I feel like the ship is still being noisy.
Yeah, the ship's still noisy. Mechanics-wise, it doesn't matter which one we get rid of, correct? Or
Officially, the The non-straining ones are supposed to have some sort of negative role play
Okay,
type
okay.
thing.
So Rabies Eddie would like to remove the rivets shaking then, because the ship is no longer vibrating
There you go.
with
So
the fierce wind.
in effect, the way it works is each of the complication cards has a symbol in the top right corner that tells you which part of the ship they affect. If a complication card would affect a ship that is already marked off as having a problem, then that means it goes to the next highest on the list. That's where you get to kind of pick and choose. Straining is never on any of the cards. That's kind of your freebie.
It's like a free space in bingo.
Exactly. All right. So Rabies Eddie has successfully released some of the pressure that was building up on the ship. It is still very noisy, and the winds are kind of pushing the ship back and forth and tossing you like a toy. And I believe SiSi and Ala, you both still have a chance to go.
I'll go next. So I would like to try and decrease the noise that we're making because I don't want to get caught by anybody. And we've got this rainbow journal that we got at the very beginning, and it's got so much paper in it. And paper, I don't know if you know this, but if you get paper wet, it does a real good dampening thing, and you can dampen all those sounds. And so I'm gonna use what's left of the water that was in the washing machine from earlier when I was throwing it, and I'm gonna get the pit and I'm gonna start plastering it on the inside of the ship to dampen all of that noise so that we don't get caught.
All right.
And I think that I'm doing this in a sensitive way because you got to be real careful when you start slapping all that wet paper around. Otherwise, it'll tear and you'll break stuff, and it'll just be a whole thing. It's much easier if you do it carefully.
Sounds good. And Erin, I'm going to mark off the Cheetos party bag as what you use to repair the rivets.
Cool with that.
Okay, I got an 8. An 8? Ooh, 8 is sneaky and not sensitive.
Not sensitive. No.
And it says I drag something through a tight space. So I think I'm going to move some of those pages up into the walls of the ship, and in the process I'm up towards the front, and instead of being able to get the paper behind this steering apparatus, I knock it a little bit, I think. And we go a little askew. And let's see. I think at this point I can use one of my complication cards to make that a success in at least getting rid of the noise. Is that correct?
Have you already played a complication this round?
I have not.
Then yes, you can.
Okay. All right. Then I think what's going to happen is in the midst of that movement, I think I end up. Hold on. These cards are very tiny font.
They are very small font. That is kind of my failure. Sorry, everyone.
Okay.
So for the audience, as SiSi tries to read, we are playing on playingcards.io, which is an amazing free alternative to like Roll20, Foundry, any of those other tabletop simulators. And Hectic Electron has made an amazing module for playing it on playingcards.io. But unfortunately, you can't really zoom in and see stuff very well on here. So sometimes it's a little hard to read.
If we're leaning towards the screen like this, it's because we're reading the cards.
Yep.
So I think in the process of this shift here, I accidentally snap one of the beautiful rivets that just got put back together with the Cheeto bag. And so there's just nothing holding together two parts of the ship.
Oh no! So 2 parts of the ship break apart and are being suspended by balloons, hanging by a literal thread next to each other.
So sorry for ruining all of your hard work, Rabies Eddie.
It's
I didn't
okay.
do
It
it
was
on
like
purpose.
35% my fault.
So, on the upside, you have fixed the noise problem.
Yay!
On the downside, you have broken the rivets. No, you
Listen,
haven't. You haven't.
No?
That's officially, yes, the ship is in peril. As far as the problem track goes and getting close to explosions, everything is fine. It's just,
Like, having
it was
problems
designed
on
to come
hold.
apart. This is a feature, not a bug. All right, Ala, close off our round of 4. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna get some trash.
Okay.
Because if we're gonna fix this bus, a car mechanic thingamababa is gonna be where we do it, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna raid that. I'm gonna raid that garage, and since I'm a very smart raccoon, probably, I'm gonna be cunning about it. I know exactly what I'm looking for, and that's a really good wrench to hit things together with.
Okay, makes
I will
sense to
settle for a
me.
hammer, or one of those other tools that they got. I don't know, tire iron.
Or a rope to tie it all together.
Okay,
The
okay.
rivets a pop in.
All right, and how you doing
Metal
this?
is sturdier. I'm gonna be cunning about it, so let's see how it goes.
Don't go for the wire. That was a
11.
disaster.
Oh, okay. Reveal the things are not what they seemed. Okay, this isn't a car mechanics. This isn't just a car mechanics. It's a front, and it's a front for a dog adoption agency.
Oh no.
So you go in to get your car fixed, and then you get a free puppy.
Hell yeah.
You think you're just getting tires aligned, but you get a little Saint Bernard, and he's so freaking cute, and you don't know what to do with him, and how do you feed him for the rest of your life? Okay, so I use this to my advantage. These adorable puppies are gonna lose the shit once they see some raccoons and smell this Cheeto fart. So I use this distraction created by the farts and the other raccoons to get in and get what I want, which is a metal bludgeoning device of some fashion. I can't really tell them apart, but I'm wearing a yellow shirt, and so I'm kind of like the engineer, and I think I know what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go get something really kind of big and clunky, and I'm just gonna start clunking. Well, I'll start clunking the ship together. I'll see if it actually fixes anything or not.
All right. I'm going to say you have gotten a big clunky tool, and let you decide what it is when you need to use it. That finishes off our 4 people. Anyone can go, and who would like to go next?
I'll go next. I'd like to try and move the ship a question. From where we're at on the map, it looks like we can
Okay.
go to Possum Woods, the supermarket. Does it also, can we fly through the space that's this 80s house to try and get over
You can
here?
also cut through the 80s house, yes.
Okay.
You can't steal anything there because you'd have to go through the whole process of like breaking in and everything, but you can still fly
Okay.
over it.
Awesome. Just wanted to make sure that I had the right thing going on there. So, you know, I know I asked the question more for mechanics. I'd like to go through the supermarket
Okay.
if possible. So let's see. I'd like to try and steer us over that direction. Now that we've been repaired and we got some more farts in our balloons.
Are you trying to be sneaky about this, sensitive, or YOLO?
I think sneaky. Now that we've kind of fixed everything, I want to be kind of low key and try and just get moved forward to this next area so we can steal more stuff from the grocery store or the supermarket.
All right.
So let's
Sneaking
see.
your way to the supermarket. Let's see if you pull it off.
This is a 5, and 5 is put yourself at risk to get or use trash. And that uses all 3 of mine. So sneaky, sensitive, and YOLO. So this is a success.
How is Kit putting themselves at risk to get some trash at the supermarket?
Ooh. Let's see. She's gonna go down, and I think that one of the dogs from the mechanics garage and free dog store, um, I think they've escaped and they're living back by the dumpsters at the supermarket. And I jump down to try and get some trash, and it notices me.
Oh
And I
no.
gotta scurry real quick to get in and get some more regular Cheetos so that we can continue on our mission.
Regular Cheetos.
Regular Cheetos, not the flaming hot ones. We got to be able to control these farts.
All right. You succeed.
Yeah.
You move to the supermarket. Unfortunately, you don't get the Cheetos just yet.
Darn it.
Sorry. But you have moved. All right. Who would like to go next?
Brisket Jack can go. So he is more than content to wait so that Kit can get the Cheetos, but he sees something in the distance and it calls to his stylish heart, and he sees the upscale designer mall. And he
Ooh.
decides there can be no waiting. We
Forget the Cheetos. We got to go.
We have to go. There's look at all the fancy over there. So he making sure though that Kit is still relatively secured, he decides to take the controls of the. Let's see where. Well, are we actually in two pieces? So we have a coup bus and then an ool bus. Is that how
you have a
understanding this?
co bus and an ol bus.
Co bus and an ol bus.
They're kind of floating along together on the same storm-tossed wind next to each other.
Excellent. He will take the controls of the Co and Ol bus and navigate it towards the upscale designer mall.
Okay. Are you doing this stylishly? Are you doing? Oh,
I think because it is upscale designer mall, there is only one way to do this, and that is to do it stylishly. So he will go in King of the World on the front of the.
I'm the king of the world.
Of the cool bus, and put his arms out as he grabs the strings for the balloons and attempts to navigate it towards the mall.
Pulling a Spider-Man there, being torn between the two.
Yeah, he'll do the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, but without the funky expression on his face. He'll try and smile the whole time, but probably still bearing his raccoonly teeth.
Alrighty. Real quick, we have a $20 donation coming in from a Katie McRyan. So let's see. Oh, sorry, McCarran. I can never say that last name right. Katie, if you could please in the chat say if you want to remove a complication, if you want to give everyone or force everyone to reroll, your call.
Hold on, I think that was Kaitlyn's, Kaitlyn McCarran.
Yeah.
I think that was their donation to remove the complication. I think it only just came through.
Doop, doop, doop. I think you're right. I'm sorry. I don't know. John, you tell me. I don't know.
Yeah, that was the complication removal. They had mentioned in the chat that they were
the complicated one, apparently.
I think maybe it just took a minute for everything to load through. So carrying on.
That makes sense. Okay. I am shutting up then and letting my players play the game and let other people worry about the donations and stuff. So, Chris, how is Brisket Jack doing?
We're about to find out. Kit, my dear, I'm very sorry, but we must go. There's upscale is calling us.
We do have those long, grabby arms.
I do. I've got my long, grabby arms, and I'm grabbing, and I'm pulling, and navigating. And I'm rolling. And, I'm going to get in over my head, but it is stylish. So I do succeed.
All right, so you successfully move into the upscale designer mall, but how do you get in over your head doing it?
As he's piloting, of course, the Ko and the Ul bus are two halves of this whole sliding back and forth. And between the residual winds that were here and the residual, as the flaming hot now really becomes more like flaming lukewarm, part of the Ul bus, the Ko bus actually swings around to the front, and so now. Brisket Jack is staring at the back of the back of the bus, facing him as he's trying to pilot this. So he can't really exactly see where he's going, and I'm sure there's probably some general stress and strain as well on the strings.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's a bit of a chaotic move, and not nearly as stylish as he wanted to be, but yet he's getting us there.
Okay, and you guys have officially moved to the upscale mall. Erin and Akyla, what would you two like to do next?
So, Rabies Eddie looks down upon the designer mall and sees the high-end yarn and craft store and decides that it'll be a smart idea to get some more string to help hold everything together in the cool bus. Keep it a cool
Okay.
bus and not a co-ed ool bus. So he's going to YOLO and whip himself down so that he can dive in through to the high-end yarn store and get some nice yarn to keep us all together.
Okay, now, are you trying to get treasure for this or remove the complication?
Oh, solid question. Kind of both. Let's remove the complication.
Okay.
So that is a 10, which is YOLO. Eat trash you really shouldn't with interesting effects. That's been happening all game for Rabies Eddie. There's still a little bit of that flamin' hot Cheeto still kind of in Rabies Eddie's system. And as he's going down to whipping through, actual flames shoot out of Rabies Eddie's butt that propel him forward into the store so he
Talk
can
about
get this yarn.
talk about a racket raccoon. All right. Rabies Eddie has successfully grabbed the yarn and strung the ship back together to help relieve some of that tension there on Brisket Jack. And yeah, only you just still have the storm going on, and that's about it. Akyla, close us up. What would you like to do?
We have to get to our final destination. Not like the movie. But we're gonna get there, and we're gonna get there in mostly one piece. So I'm going to leverage my Captain Brisket Jack, and use Brisket's fur to steer, because I'm going to be pulling the back of his fur to sort of direct which way if it's the Ol or the Co ship. We're just gonna make it
It's
work
the cool
with some
bus
pulling.
again.
Okay. Well, he's still out front, so I think maybe just little tugs on the whiskers to direct
Nice.
us to the hopefully smart home.
All right. And are you doing cunning, inventive, or YOLO for this?
You know what? This is going to be a YOLO,
All right.
since I'm using my friend as a steering wheel.
7.
It's invent something new out of trash. Cunning, inventive, or YOLO. Well,
I
okay,
wouldn't
so
call Brisket Jack trash.
we are what we eat, okay? So
Potato rutabaga,
my friend here, Brisket Jack, is a very fine specimen of trash, but I will make use a little bit of the dull box cutter to massage him. Instead of pulling on the whiskers, turns out the whisker pulling didn't work as well as like a nice soft massage to like the back of his right between those shoulder blades. Just nice gentle touches to get him to the right direction so we can make a smooth landing at this McMansion.
Nice. And you do indeed reach the McMansion. Now, in the actual game, this is where we would stop and move on to scene 2. We are going to stop. We're going to take a quick break. And let's see. Right now, we are sitting at 9:35. We started at 8:20. So that is 115. We need 60
So-
more dollars to hit the secret goal.
Hold on. We have 2 other donations that have processed. One $20 trash from Chopper 1080,
Okay.
who is giving us a
Oh,
DVD
God.
copy of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Why would you
Um,
do that, Chopper?
Who made
Ugh.
And then I also donated. I'm not feeling super lucky about the first, the beginning of scene 2, so I'm giving myself a success at the beginning of scene 2 because it's just
All right.
I did too well during this first portion. It's all downhill from here. So I'm giving myself 1 success so
Well,
that
you
maybe I don't blow the ship up.
do get to control your next 2 rolls.
Oh, 2. Nice.
Yep, because
Even
I
better.
upgraded $50 to make it better.
So
All right,
the
well, that
next
does
one-
mean we hit the secret goal for scene 2. We have reached the McMansion. We're going to take a short break, be right back, and we will see if our players can successfully enter the mansion. Hey everyone, we are back. Thank you for giving us that break. We all deeply appreciate it. For those of you that have just joined us, we are playing Racoon Sky Pirates by Hectic Electron. I highly recommend checking it out. It is a blast. We are also supporting the IGDN Diversity Scholarship Fund. So any donations you make during the game goes towards the scholarship fund. We are not keeping any of it whatsoever. Before we left for the break, we did hit that secret goal. It's not so secret because all the players are in the chat. They saw anyways. So they know what's coming. But that being said, let's go through real quick, have the players introduce themselves, and we'll get going once again. So starting at the top, same order that I went last time. Who went first? Who remembers?
I'm pretty sure it was me.
I think so too.
It's probably me. Hi, I'm SiSi. I am playing Kit. She is a kawaii raccoon. She's the littlest raccoon of the bunch. And you can find me in various places at CSilencio.
All right, who's next?
I think I would know.
Just guess. It's fine.
Just go for it.
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm playing Rabies Eddie. I'm the other half of Escape Box Game. And you might hear me through Ted's mic there. Sorry. Hi. I don't remember the rest of my intro.
Hey y'all, I'm Ala. I'm online as Alazilla typically. And I am playing the Brissa, the inventor raccoon.
Everybody, my name's Chris. I'm online somewhere. I am playing Brisket Jack, the prone to failure, swashbuckling raccoon pirate.
And I am Ted. I am playing everyone else, but specifically in this case, I am the neighborhood watch. Trying to stop these darn raccoon pirates from stealing everything. When last we left our adventurous pirates, they were dealing with successfully, and yes, I did say dealing with, getting to a house, which they did do. Well done on them. Congratulations. But now they have to deal with 1, the house security, and 2, they got to deal with a rival pirate crew who have beat them to the job.
No.
So, raccoons. You might remember when last we left off, our pirate raccoons were currently, we had Brisket Jack holding the balloons. We have Vibrissa massaging Brisket's back with the box massager. We had Rabies Eddie just still tying everything together with yarn. And we had Kit, who was like, no, the good food. Looking back at the supermarket. All right. As we come up on the McMansion, let me go ahead and play this for the players so they can see exactly what they're dealing with. Players, if you would please put your raccoon tokens over on the right side of the screen so they're out of the way. All right. So what you're dealing with, this is your typical McMansion. For those of you who have been in a McMansion, what I mean by a McMansion is this is the type of thing where you're in the lower upper class or upper middle class, the new money range, or the young family that is old money, but they're moving out and making it on their own with their parental support. It's big. It has like a giant dining room. It has one of those little circle towers for an entryway. You usually see these on like half-acre, 1-acre lots somewhere, 2-floor, and this one is a smart home. So raccoons. To move on from scene 2, there are 3 things you have to do. 1, you have to drive away the rival pirate gang. This is the Swinging Tails, aka the Possum Pirates from Possum Woods.
Uh-oh.
2, you have to secure your ship, the Dumpster Fire Cool Bus, to the house. And 3, you have to find a way into the house itself. Once one of you have successfully gotten into the house through a method that everyone else can follow, we move on to scene 3 of actually stealing all the stuff from the house. All right. With that intro, who wants to go first?
All right, thing one.
Dead silence.
No. Go ahead.
Thing one, secure to the house so we don't go flying away with all of rabies gas. So Rabies Eddie's is tying all these knots anyway. So what he's gonna do is see more things to tie knots to, i.e. the roof of the house. He's gonna take what's left of his yarn and rappel down and tie the ship. What do we got here as far as roofy stuff?
No, don't roofie anyone.
No roofies. That's illegal.
They don't even have a chimney on this thing. What is it used for?
There's okay, so that big window on the top floor, kind of in the middle of that arch, there's that like decorative wood stuff.
Yeah.
Let's tie off to the decorative wood stuff. And strongly. He's doing this strongly because this will involve arm day. Where did I put my character sheet so I know if I fail or not? There we go. I got a 7, which is YOLO, because Rabies Eddie has reached his breaking point. But actually, that succeeds because a rival group of trash animals appears.
How appropriate.
I know.
So, along with the possum pirates, you all hear a screeching, and looking up, you see a group of ravens coming down, and this is the Raven Raptors, who is another pirate gang who normally hangs out at the airport, and they are pissed that you invaded their territory and have been tailing you this entire way.
That that would mean we get another group of animals, and that's my fault. Ha!
My bad. So, correction. You all now have to drive away 2 rival pirate gangs, anchor the ship. Oh no, the ship is anchored.
Oh, ship is anchored. I did that.
You're now fighting the pirate gangs without being able to move the ship. Congratulations. And then find a way into the house. Now, that being said, we did have some donations at the very end before we took the break. So let's go through and find these complications real quick. So SiSi donated $50. Thank you, SiSi. To control her next 2 rolls. She automatically gets to decide if Kit will fail or succeed at whatever Kit tries to do for the next 2 rolls. You can also pick this option for $50 and pick a player to automatically succeed or fail their next 2 rolls. It's up to you. Do you like them or not? Let's see. We have a $20 donation that came in from Josh, unverified Twitch account. That just said, make Chris Hussey's life difficult. Now, normally that would be a $15 donation of a complication card and then a $5 reroll, but since they specified Hussey and not the raccoons, Hussey, your next 4 rolls, you have to roll twice and take the highest. Because usually high is bad.
Yeah.
That is from Brisket Jack's arch nemesis Possum, Pulled Pork Howard. Let's see. We have a trash donation from Chopper that is a DVD copy of Avatar: The Last Airbender live action, which, yeah, that is trash. John, quick note, this is a $20 trash. Was this 2 copies of Avatar: The Last Airbender live action, or is it just 1? Please let us know. In the meantime, quick rundown for those of you that have joined us recently. For $5, you can force a raccoon to roll twice and take either the highest or lowest result, your call. For $10, you can give them a piece of trash, like Avatar: The Last Airbender live action. For $15, you can make things harder for them, and I will play a random complication. from the deck to make things more interesting, and it's something they have to deal with to get into the house. For $20, you can be very, very nice and remove a complication and just have it automatically be dealt with. Or you can make Chris Hussey re-roll his next 4 rolls. For $25, you can make Erin, Hussey, or myself monologue our epic backstories. And for $50, you can control the rolls. Okay, I'm done. I'm shutting up. Back to the players.
I have an idea. Since our possum pirate pals have shown up, I am going to try and be sneaky, and I want to offer them to try and get them to leave. I know that there is, was it 200 or 300 Dogecoin?
There was 300 Dogecoin on the USB
exactly
drive.
300.
300 on this. So what I want to do is I want to scurry up to, what was his name? Pulled Pork Howard.
Pulled Pork Howard.
Pulled Pork Howard, and I'm gonna say, hey, I know that you guys want to go in here, but we're gonna go in here. But I have something for you to make up for it. Do you see this? And I hold up the little flash drive.
Yeah, what's that? Goes with a computer thing, right?
Yes, but it also has a special power, and it's got what they call Dogecoin.
I don't like Doges.
So see, that's where this comes in handy, because you know how the humans and the Doges all hang out together? They're all able to hang out and not be, fighting, because the humans got the Dogecoin. So they show the dogs the Dogecoin, and then the Doges leave them alone and they're just friends. This
so you're saying
will protect you from the Doges. I will give you this in exchange for you guys letting us go in the house by ourselves.
Fine, but if this doesn't work, I'm coming back to find you.
It'll work.
All right, and SiSi, since you get to control what you do, and you chose sneaky, I suggest that you get an 11 on your next roll, which is show up where you're least expected, and the possums definitely don't expect you to randomly appear on their ship.
Yes, that's the one.
All right, so you have sacrificed your shiny USB flash drive with Dogecoin to get rid of the possums, and they have agreed to leave y'all alone. Now you just have to deal with the Raven Raptors. All right, who would like to go next?
I think Brisket Jack is ready to fail his first roll.
Not necessarily.
So, well, that's true. That's true. I could very well succeed. So we see the Raven Raptors come down, and Brisket Jack is looking. He's looking over first at Pulled Pork Howard's gang, with the possum pirates there, and his first thought was to go that way, but then he sees Kit go, and he feels a little bit of regret for having taken Kit away from the Cheetos. So he decides to divert his attention towards the Raven Raptors, and he says, "The Raven Raptors, this crew is murder." And he goes running off the crew bus, and he leaps with his fancy sword-shaped letter opener, leading the way, much like Matthew McConaughey near the end of Reign of Fire as he goes to square off with the dragon. He leaps towards the Raven Raptors ship in an effort to try and engage them in Raven combat. And I'm thinking I'm prepping for his ultimate failure here, but I'm thinking that this is going to be a deft move.
Going deft, okay.
But of course, I mean, if you think it's stylish, that's fine.
Oh no,
all right.
I'm gonna go with deft. I agree with that.
So we're rolling twice, taking the highest first roll. Hey, can't get much higher than 12.
There it is. All right, roll again.
Oh yeah, right. Just in case I get a 13 and a D12, you never know. And I get double
You got two
damage.
12s, which
Wow.
means that you Superman make
Damn.
it worse. You make it twice as worse as you were initially going to.
Someone's gonna get murdered, and it's not the Ravens.
So
Oh.
for everyone that can't see the die, Chris just rolled back-to-back 12s, which is basically considered like a 12 is a crit failure. So Chris just crit failed twice in a row. Chris, this is going
Yes.
to go horribly for Brisket. Would you like to
Horribly.
play a complication card?
I would love to.
Okay.
So I'm going to play this one. Let me flip it over. The lawn gnome is looking at you funny.
Okay. Long Gnome is looking at you funny. So I will allow it. Brisket
All right.
Jack succeeds. Downside.
The downside is, so in his leap, he comes down and he wraps up the pirate captain of the Raven Raptors, and they roll together off of the Raven Raptor ship, which is very odd, the fact that the Raven Raptors actually have a flying pirate ship of their own, but we don't think about that too much because they just have it and everybody just goes with it. And we tumble down and we land on the grass and we roll around together and we fight briefly, but Brisket Jack comes out on top and he looks at the Raven Raptor captain as he has defeated him in combat and he says, "Your wings have been clipped. It is time for you to leave. This house is ours." And he goes to turn, and there is indeed a lawn gnome staring at him very strangely. And Brisket Jack is almost positive he sees it wink, but he can't be sure. But he's also just going to go with it. Now, I don't know what the pet complication does, so I'm assuming it's hopefully not a dog staring me in the face.
It potentially could be, actually.
Okay, excellent. So we'll say, so then we'll give you the opportunity for that, just in case. We'll say that this gnome is partially in shadow, so he's just going to assume that it is a lawn gnome. We don't really know.
Okay. Now, you used your sword to get rid of the ravens.
I did.
And what's going to happen is, unfortunately, Brisket is going to realize, as he says, "Your wings have been cut." He tries to make a dramatic flourish with his sword, and he realizes, wait, where's my letter opener sword? And it's still stuck in the Raven captain as he calls and, "Go away, let's go away!" And they sail off with it still stuck in the captain. And I'm sorry to say, Brisket Jack, you have lost your letter sword. Just gotta find another.
I must
Right.
find another.
Alrighty.
I will find another.
You will.
Be mine once again.
It will be
I don't know
yours.
that you're going to have much luck in this smart house. They only get emails here.
Oh, very true.
They could have gotten one as a weird gift.
Maybe.
That's fair.
Could be.
They could have. Okay.
All right,
That
my
leaves
friends,
one left.
they're pretty good at taking care of the enemy. So now we just need a path of entry. And I know that we've got these handy DVDs. And I have seen enough shows on Kit's TB to know that a sharp tool can cut through glass. So, I'm going to be inventive about it, hopefully. Try to crack one of these Avatar live action DVDs and use
you haven't
it.
found that yet.
Oh, we haven't? Oh, well.
Oh,
You know what?
We still have the box cutter.
No, I'll give it to you. You know what? As Brisket Jack jumps off the ship to get to the Ravens, the ship wobbles again, and a copy of Avatar: The Last Airbender DVD is unlodged from the school bus seat that it has been stuck in for the last who knows how long.
All right. Let me see if this actually works or not, though. Okay, so I was going with inventive, and that was not the answer I was looking for. However, I am going to say that in the sprawl of everything happening on the lawn, the lawn sprinklers go off as the combatants kind of smack into one, and it breaks, and it's just going everywhere. It's spraying us, it's spraying the ship, it's spraying our enemies that are fleeing. But we have a way in. It's a shoddily cut hole in that window that may be
Okay.
getting some water in now. So hopefully they have water damage insurance.
You have
We're raccoons. We don't care about
successfully
insurance.
broken your way into the house. At least you have a hole you can go through to reach it. Downside is you've driven off the possums.
hmm
You've made a way in that everyone else can get in through.
Mhm.
But there's still 2 complication cards in play that you have to deal with before you go into the house. You have a lawn gnome that's looking at you funny, and the lawn sprinklers are going off. So, Ala, you were last. That puts us at the top. So anyone can go next. Would anyone like to pick one of these to deal with?
Actually, I feel like I should go up and congratulate the one.
Zeddy.
What's that?
Yeah, sorry, you guys overlapped. What was that one?
Oh, go ahead.
Good.
Okay. All right. Brisket feels he needs to go and take care of this this lawn gnome, because clearly this gnome is looking at him. It obviously wants to either impart some sort of quest or congratulate him on taking care of the Raven captain.
Fair.
So, yes. So I would like to try and take care of that complication.
Okay. How
So-
are you taking care of it?
Great question. I think he will slide up in. He's going to take advantage of the sprinkling water, and he's going to make sort of a stylish, cool guys don't look at explosions sort of approach through this falling rain towards this mysterious shadowed lawn gnome in an effort to go and let them meet their hero. And he's just going to walk up and shake its little outstretched gnomish hand that he assumes is going to be there.
Okay. That sounds very stylish to me.
And I'm now on roll 2 of my 4 rolls. Okay.
That is correct.
Oh boy. All right, so stylish. Here we go. Let's see if we can get double 12s again. It's a 9. All right. And second roll is an 8.
Gotta
Damn
keep the
it.
higher. What's the 9?
Oh, damn it. It would have been a success. 9 is invent a new machine out of trash.
Cunning.
And yes, cunning. So I think that as he's walking up there, there's probably some residual light that is hitting these falling droplets of water. So it's creating sort of a kind of a disco ball effect, so to speak. And it is highlighting tiny little pieces of trash around the yard that just have not been picked up yet. And so he's seeing things from maybe like some sort of, you know what, we'll say what it is. It's a tiny little squirt gun is one of the pieces. And then there's some pipe cleaners, as well as maybe, we'll let's see, let's put an oversized Culver's food wrapper or fast food restaurant wrapper, in just in case Culver's is not in your area. So we'll just we'll say fast food wrapper, and so it completely distracts Brisket Jack because he has this idea, and he grabs the squirt gun, and he grabs the pipe cleaners and ties some sort of cool, stylish thing around there, and then grabs the food wrapper, does the same thing, but puts it over as a cape and uses the last of the pipe cleaners to tie that off. So now he has this fast food wrapper cape and this really cool looking John Wick-esque squirt gun that he has. And he's completely forgot about this gnome. As now
Okay.
he is sitting there admiring himself in one of the lower level windows reflections.
So I have good news and bad news. Good news is that clears both complication cards.
Nice.
Oh,
Bad news is that marks a couple of the problems on the problem track. So
Uh-oh.
uh-oh.
you guys are going to start raiding this house already at a bit of a penalty here. Sorry. So let's go ahead and get this going. All right, so Vibrissa, you cut a hole in what window? Top floor, bottom floor?
It's that top window that we were getting attached
The
to
one with the
previously.
shutters.
Yeah.
All right.
They're
So
only
your
decorative
hole
shutters.
opens up into your window hole opens into where is that? Cool. It opens into bedroom number 2. So it would go right here on the second floor. For everyone else, we have a map I am using to kind of show all the different things.
And now we're in scene 3, and we need to take cards, right?
Yes, you are. So
Oh
go
my
ahead.
goodness.
I am going to recall all the cards from scene 2,
Oh, okay.
if it'll let me.
Oh my goodness. These complications are yikes.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's not letting me recall the decks to scene 2, so just keep in mind which ones are 2, which ones are 3.
They have different icons.
Erin,
Yeah,
you're
they-
breaking up really bad from me.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
they have different
Oh, I'm
icons on the
sorry.
left-hand side.
Easy fix
Hello.
for me. There we go. All right.
Yay.
Whew. Okay. Y'all have successfully made it to scene 3. John, has there been any donations in the last few minutes? Doesn't look like. Okay. So, scene 3. This is where you all get to have some fun. For scene 3, you have a couple different actions you can take. 1, try to steal something. Moving from room to room doesn't require a roll. But if you see something you want to steal, you have to first steal it and then make your way back to the ship with it to successfully deposit it. You also can deal with complications or problems. And once you all have stolen as much as you can, basically you get to keep going until all the problems have been marked and everyone wakes up. That being said, the dog has been woken up by the sprinklers going off and the raccoon with the flashy cape and slipping in the water, and so you can hear some snuffling and growling from downstairs. If only you guys had some Dogecoin or something to protect yourselves.
From the Doge.
And then as we go through this, just a reminder for all of our folks here watching, you can make donations through the link in the Twitch chat to the IGDN Diversity Scholarship. And if you donate $5, then we have a forced reroll for the next raccoon who takes an action. And you get to choose whether they take the higher or the lower number. If you donate $10, the raccoons find a piece of trash of your choosing. For $15, you get to add a random complication card to the current scene. For $20, you can remove a complication from the current scene. For $25, you can choose a player to monologue their backstory, and we have Chris, Erin, and Ted are all available for that one. And then for $50, you control the outcome. You get to pick a raccoon and decide if the next roll they make will automatically succeed or fail. Twice.
Next two
rolls. And then one more note, if we make the next secret donation goal before we get to scene 4, which is our, after we're done in the house. So once we wrap all this up, if we make this next thing, we'll have this next donation goal, we'll have another fun surprise
which they already know. It's in the chat. They all know. So the secret surprise is if we can get to that next level, as they have successfully or unsuccessfully raided the house and they're making their way back to the junkyard with their trash, the Swinging Tail Possum Gang will show up again and be very, very upset that the Dogecoin did not protect them from the dogs.
It's not my fault they used it wrong.
Now, that's a problem for future raccoons. Meanwhile, current-day raccoons get to steal as much from the house as they can before they get caught. You all are in the second-story bedroom. This is a young boy's... bedroom number 2 on the second floor. This is a young boy's, looks like probably somewhere between 8 to 10 years old. The door is shut, leading out to the hallway, but it's filled with toys and posters. There's some science kits. Apparently this kid is old school. There's an erector set. Who has an erector set these days? But yeah. Who would like to go first? Remember, you can move between rooms for free. But if you try to steal something, that's when you have to make a roll. And if you need a potential random thing that you could steal, I have a list of 100, I don't know if that's going to show up on my camera, but a list of 100 random items that can be found in the house, courtesy of Hectic Electron. Thank you, Hectic. Alrighty. Who's going first?
I think I know where I want Rabies Eddie to go, if everyone's cool.
Yeah.
So he's going to scooch in through that window, and this is not the area that he really needs to be in. So he's going to kind of scooch and scooch and scooch and scooch. Go through one bathroom over here, not see what he's looking for. Oh, wait, that's not a door. I don't know. How do we get there? Rabies Eddie wants to be in the primary bathroom because it's where he sees exactly what he's looking for. And it's this wonderful little landscape with a white horse in it that he knows as John Constable. And he's going to grab his painting and he's going to scurry away.
All right. Are you doing this strongly, aggressively, or YOLO? How are you stealing your painting?
Let's go with YOLO because this is very purposeful for Rabies Eddie. He wants this painting for his happiness. That is a 9.
What's a 9, Erin?
Why did I close my sheet? It is strong.
Rabies Eddie takes a beating. Hey,
yep.
Eddie, guess who showed up?
Is there a Doge in there?
There is a Snuffer Pupper Wuffer Puffer in there. Yes. Oh.
Wuffer.
I think Erin has started to glitch out for me. Is she also doing that for everyone else?
Yes, she has frozen.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there you are. You're back now.
Erin is a slideshow.
You are a slideshow on fast forward. Okay, you're back now. Go.
Hi.
Yep.
Hello. Okay.
Hello.
There's a dog. I have a painting and there's a dog.
There is a very fierce French poodle growling at you.
Oh dear. Sorry, I'm looking at my cards here. Oh, you know what? Alexa also hears the dog. I played a card. I'm sorry. I don't know. Does that show up?
It did. Alexa has started responding to the noises you're making.
Yes.
So, Alexa has heard the Doge and has assumed that means the dog is hungry because these people are lazy and they have their dog's feeding schedule set up by Alexa. So the dog starts growling and Alexa's like, dispensing treats in kitchen. And the dog heads off to the kitchen for its treats. And Rabies Eddie has successfully stolen this giant painting of a man on a white horse. Now you got to get back to the ship. But that's for next turn. Who goes next?
I think Brisket Jack, he actually, his eyes kind of, well, hold on, wait. I want to try and get through these. Nah, you'll do this one first because we're in the kids' room. He knows that this is definitely where he wants to be. And so he goes immediately scurrying around and digging through everything. And success, he finds what he's looking for under the bed of the human who lives in here. And he is in search of a number of bags of regular Cheetos so that he can give them to Kit to assuage his guilt for taking off back in scene 1.
All right. This, I believe, is rule number 3 where you're penalized. So
And it is rule number 3.
Are
So
you doing this deftly, stylishly, cunningly?
I think he's trying to be cunning because he's thinking that knowing the way humans behave, this would probably be something that would be hidden or would fall into various cracks and crevices in the room, and underneath the bed seems like the best spot for such things. So this sounds like cunning to me.
Okay.
Okay. Oh boy, 11. Gosh, man, get in
You
over my
gotta roll
head.
one more because you
Yeah.
still have 2 double
I
rolls.
do. So we'll probably here's
Still
12.
fail more.
Oh, 7. Aim and launch. Okay, so
11
11. So I
is
get
getting
in
you
over
over
my
head.
head. All right. So
Stylishly.
in a very stylish. So there's actually been, the family doesn't like to talk about this, but there has been a bit of a rodent problem in the neighborhood, particularly in the house. And the parents, knowing that their son has a tendency to eat a lot of snacks in the bedroom, sneaking them, they have put a series of mouse traps underneath the bed. So
Okay.
as Brisket Jack goes underneath there suddenly is this loud, rapid snapping noises, multiple snaps, and Brisket Jack kind of rolls out, and he has mouse traps on both of his front paws and on his back, and so now he's walking with this strange sort of like boots too big for his feet gait as he's trying to get out of this situation.
So, Chris, just to verify, are you accepting the failure or are you going to play a complication on this?
Boy, yeah, that's right. We're inside now, so I can do that. Let me see.
Because if you fail this, you will have to mark off noisy. The pet has already been marked off, which means the next one will go to the humans have woken up.
All right,
Which means
so,
you will have one last failure before this scene ends, and you all got to cheese it back to the junkyard with whatever the
all
heck
right.
you got.
So yes, I am going to play. I'm going to play a complication card. And actually, so I'll stick with what I've already narratively said. And then so in his mouth, though, he carries a bag of Cheetos that he then, so he goes slapping over on the floor towards Kit and presents the bag of Cheetos. And the card I will play is, it is eerily quiet, magnifying any noise you make. So it's actually quite quiet here in the house, with the exception for him slapping his way as he's walking with a mousetrap on each foot.
So clap, 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 clap. And Alexa says, playing, make your hands clap. Boo, doo, 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 doo. And I'm going to stop there. So music starts playing. That puts us at either SiSi or Ella.
I'll go next. We're in exactly the room that I want to be in because this 10-year-old child just happens to also collect action figures.
Fair. There's probably some like One Piece and Bleach and yeah.
And I see one that is on the top shelf. It's still in a box. And it's oh god, why did I forget her name? Hold on, I know this one. It's Ochako Uraraka from My Hero Academia.
Okay.
And she is still in her box. And she's up on a shelf. And so I'm going to try and sneakily get up there to grab this and go. And since I still have a guaranteed success or failure, I think let's see. I think that I'm gonna use as part of this drag something through a tight space, and I've got to be able to get the box out through the window.
Yeah.
So this is a success.
It's one of those like the box has to fit through the hole, and it is trying to get it lined up, and it is a success. So you have your action figure. Now you're through the hole. You have to actually get it onto the ship.
Yes.
Allah.
Okay, well, I'm also exactly where I need to be. This kid apparently has an appreciation for older electronics. So maybe one of these older toys. He's got these D batteries that I've been looking for this entire time. All right.
You just got a boom box in the corner.
I mean, this kid has an erector set, so probably has like a make your own radio kit or something.
Oh,
Sure,
yeah, nice.
why not?
Mhm.
So I'm gonna use cunning to see if I can get the right item that I'm looking for. Because I'm actually not sure which of these will have a D battery in it, but I know that's exactly the one for sure, 100%. So I'm just going to make a scientific guess about which might have it.
Just whatever you do, don't Google toys that use D batteries.
Oh boy.
What'd you roll there, Ella?
Oof.
It's an 11, but using cunning is exactly what I wanted. And it's reveal things are not what they seem.
This toy isn't a toy.
It's a front for a pet shop.
It's a cat adoption agency. No.
Everyone's lousy with them.
So it's not quite the device I was looking for. He seems to have pilfered something from his dad's collection. However, he's got the battery that I need, and that's all that matters, and I don't care what the humans use it for.
All right. You have successfully acquired something that uses a D battery. Now you got to get it back to the ship.
I have no idea what it is, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's got a D battery.
All four of you have gone, which means we're back to the top. Who wants to go next?
Raby said he just wants to go back to the ship. Is that big?
Yeah. I believe all four of you currently have treasure that you have to get back to the ship with now.
Okay. So, Raby Zeddy. Oh,
oh no!
Strong giant painting. Oh, am I dead again? I'm sorry.
You're back. Go ahead.
Okay. Raby Zeddy in one arm has the very dramatic painting that he desperately wants, and is an arm raccoon climbing up this rope back onto the ship.
Yes, that happens. Totally. What you just said.
I'm sure it is 100%.
This sounds like a strongly action to me.
It is. So, trying to shorten again. Can y'all hear me? I'm so sorry.
Yes.
No? Bad
Go
news
quick.
bears?
Go now.
Quick.
Speaking
Just
of
go quick
bears,
now.
Painting.
Go.
Roll up. Succeed. I get on the ship. I got a 3. I think I'm a bear. I act like it. I take the painting. It's mine.
Roar. Congratulations, you made it on the ship.
Yay!
Rawr. Congratulations,
Rawr.
Erin.
Definitely now is the time to ask for that monologue, by the way.
Yes. 100%.
Apparently.
And here's our slideshow for the day.
We just have Erin going, All right. So Rabies Eddie has made it back with his treasure of a giant classical painting of a man on a white horse. Who would like to go next?
Since I'm already out the window, I'll go ahead and try and climb on up. Now I do have the box, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and hold it with my feet because they also got the little thummies. So I'm gonna hold it with my feet and make my way climbing up as quickly as I can. And I think this is a YOLO.
Okay. Let's see that
And
one.
it's
That's
a
not a one.
6.
6.
I did mess up though, because this is a sensitive, and it's
Uh-oh.
manipulate something tricky.
Which is exactly what you're trying to do.
I mean, it is what I'm trying to do. So I do make it up, but I think in the process I damage the box.
Oh no.
So
Do you have a complication card you would like to play?
yeah, let me see here.
Something tells me y'all aren't getting a whole bunch of treasure out of this house.
Hold on. Okay. I think it's gonna be. Man, I've got some good ones though. Hold on. Yeah, we'll go with this one. So, I'm leaving a mess in my wake. And so, in addition to making my way up, yes, I have torn this box, but there are literal just like pieces of cardboard that are just falling off the bottom of it. Some little zip ties are starting to come loose. Um, and I think they're gonna leave a little bit of like rough terrain for my friends coming after me.
Okay. That makes sense to me. Gonna make things a little bit more difficult for everyone. Unfortunately, that's not really something Alexa can manage. And the humans are very heavy sleepers, apparently, since they're just sleeping through fits in the tantrums. I can make your hands clap. And the dog is busy eating his treats. All right, and you have made it out with your boxed anime figurine. Who goes next?
Captain, do you mind, since you're having a bit of a,
It's your curse.
unlucky streak after you fought that raven? I
Oh.
think you got cursed.
I think you may be right, but I feel though that the cure to my curse is deeper inside. There's one more treasure I wish to acquire, but you may go before me if you so choose to do so.
I should prep the ship in case, things go sour for you.
Yes, that's fine.
Sour
I
like
will.
that yogurt.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that was very sour, and hard. But yes, no, go prep the ship if that's what you feel you must do. I feel something calling me deeper in this house. I'm going to slap down this hallway and go try and find it.
All right, I'm gonna try to get my treasure out of here and into the ship. And it is big and clunky, as things that use D batteries are. And I am trying to wiggle it out as best as I can. And let's face it, at this point, it's a YOLO situation.
Fair. Okay.
Did it actually roll?
That moved the die.
There it goes. Okay.
10.
Oh, perfect. If it doesn't fit, force it. So you have to picture this thing. Now, for us humans, what Vibrissa has found is a large old school flashlight. They used D batteries. I don't care where your dirty minds went. The kid borrowed his dad's old flashlight, and it is unfortunately larger than the entrance hole that we have made. So Vibrissa is just jamming this giant, awkwardly shaped flashlight out of this perfectly shaped cylindrical hole. Somehow it works. Maybe it's the kind of the faulty deal on this old device, but it gets out. And it's back on the ship.
There's a little bit of a tinkle, tinkle, tinkle as some pieces of glass fall off.
Like hairline cracks are starting to fall in the glass.
Well done. Everyone has made it back with the... Oh, wait.
Oh no. Yes.
Chris, you want to succeed in this one,
I
or
do.
all of the problems will be marked.
So what you're saying is, are you trying to tell me that I should just go back on the ship? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I mean, there's no point going back on the ship until you trigger the panic.
Follow your heart.
I couldn't agree more. Here we go. So, feeling that he must remove this curse that Veronica so adequately, or not adequately, so adeptly pointed out to him. He's going to go deeper in the house because there's something from his past here that he knows he must find. It's beyond the letter opener. It's something that is core to his being, that has made him the raccoon that he is today. And he goes scrambling through the house until he reaches the great room, and there, standing in the liquor cabinet, he sees it. It is a bottle, and on this bottle stands a human pirate with one leg higher than the other, a big red coat and a long sword at his side, and an extremely nice-looking hat, very similar to the kind right over my shoulder here. And he stands and he stares at this glass bottle, and sure enough, he knows it has called to him. This is the thing that he was actually meant to find here all along. And so he goes to steal this bottle of Captain Morgan rum.
Nice.
It's going to be a real party when we get home.
It is going to be a hell of a good party.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So I'm thinking this is probably cunning.
I would say cunning. And people watching, if you want to take pity on this poor cursed soul and let him have his Captain Morgan's rum, please pay the $50 to give him a success.
I'm on the third of my fourth.
I know this is number 4. This is the last one.
Okay, good. That means
you can tell the other person that they successfully made your life miserable.
Yes, he messaged me already after the first roll saying that he was very happy to help me double crit fail. So, all right. Let me get back to my sheet here so I can see exactly how bad I'm going to blow this. All right.
3, not bad.
Okay, I'll take a 1 or a 2. That would be great.
11. You have to go with the 11.
My head. I do, and this is a fail because this is stylish. So I have gotten in over my head. So
that triggers everything.
It does trigger everything. So he gets into the room, and this happens to be the moment when the human is up for his midnight nightcap, so to speak. He's there. He actually, he doesn't see me at first, and I'm about to reach for the bottle, and that is just at the same time he reaches for the bottle. And we have this far too long moment where he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, I'm looking at him. And he yells, which summons the pet. And at that point, everything goes to hell.
That's not the washing machine song.
No, it's not. Commence the banjo music as everyone just kind of sits on the ship looking at the house, and you just hear crashing and tinkers and the dog barking and a human shouting, and you're just staring down like, yeah, that's Brisket Jack. Yep.
That sounds right.
Classic Jack.
Brisket Jack.
Yes.
I need you to either succeed on a roll to escape or give up one of the pieces of trash to escape.
I'm going to attempt to succeed in the roll. So he's going to take advantage of the fact that he's figured out now how to effectively walk with all these rat traps on his legs. And there is a lot of laminate in this house. And so he is taking advantage of raccoon physics, and he is moving and doing a lot of sliding on these things as he is going, making his way back to the extraction point. And I'm thinking that, and of course, in typical Brisket Jack fashion, he's doing this as stylishly as possible.
So I just had the realization you still have those traps on your hands, which means when you're reaching for the Captain Morgan and the human's reaching and you accidentally touch hands,
Yep.
the human's like, why am I touching a mouse trap? All right, stylish. Please
Stylish.
roll 1 die.
I would love to. Just
3.
I create a distraction, and cunning or stylish. I succeed in this.
Hey!
Nice. So, as I mentioned before, has been a definite rodent problem, which clearly has been demonstrated here over the course of this scene, that there's a rodent problem. And so, as Brisket Jack is sliding his way to escaping, he goes through a couple of bedrooms, thinking, you know what, there's probably going to be similar rat traps. And so he slides underneath the bed, kicking out the rat traps, the unsprung rat traps behind him, which the dog is desperately chasing after him. The dog lands on this flurry of rat traps that has come, and thus gets caught and begins yelping and wincing, causing the human to slow down to go and help their pet, while Brisket Jack is able to slide and skate his way out of the hole and back onto the dumpster fire.
All right, that's the end of scene 3. Now, unfortunately, we did not hit the secret unlock for scene 4. So the Dogecoin worked. Congratulations, SiSi. It kept the possums away. And we are going to draw a new hand of cards. So if you just want to put your scene 3 cards on the table, I will get rid of them. Thank you. And then go ahead and collect 3 scene 4s. And I want to thank you all for sticking with us. We are a little over our 3 hour, so we're going to be finishing this up real quick with a desperate race back to the raccoon's lair as they are being chased. Y'all ready for this? Stop. Before we gotta pay royalties.
Okay, right.
All right. So you're all back on the ship. All of you except for Brisket Jack have gotten your treasures. You have to make it back to the junkyard. Unfortunately, because of all the noise triggered at the house, the neighborhood watch has also been awoken. And Greg Smith with the neighborhood watch, he just recently put through a petition to the HOA to get increased funding for anti-piracy and raccoon measures. And he has bought some upgraded drones that he is going to be chasing your ship with. Who would like to go first to try to get back to the junkyard? Your options. Go back to the junkyard. Pilot the ship. Steal something from the space you're currently on. Fix a problem. Or get rid of a complication. Who would like to go first?
Let's do it. Let's get us out of here.
I'll go. Well.
Oh.
No. You go ahead.
I heard Ala first. Go ahead, Ala.
All right. We're gonna take a different route this time, just to avoid capture, and because there likely will be far less eyes and cameras at the strip mall. So we're gonna try and head to the strip mall.
Okay.
And I'm going to go about this in an inventive manner.
That's a 10. Which,
again, is something I'm pretty good at. It's if it doesn't fit, force it. So that's exactly what we're doing. It is tricky to get us out of this neighborhood. There's lots of fancy tree covers that the HOA apparently didn't deal with. They don't care about that. It's only the length of the grass that they're all about. So we have to squeeze our ship, hanging together as it is, through some really dense foliage. But in doing so, it creates almost like a slingshot effect, as the tree branches then push us forward with great speed, and we crash into the strip mall space parking lot. Let's say parking lot. Somehow, all in one piece.
All right, and you have successfully piloted the ship to the strip mall. Who would like to try to take a turn next?
I also like to pilot the ship. Rabizetti is holding that steering wheel strong. Just kind of keep everything going in the correct direction, and hopefully get us through the police station.
I mean, if that's the choice you want to make. 8.
So that's an 8, which is aggressive. But we have these cards. And the neighborhood watch is going to engage in aerial acrobatics with us.
Ooh.
All right, so those drones from the neighborhood watch, they come screaming up to you guys. They're making loud noises. It's not quite the wee-woo of the police, but it's legally distinct. There's a swarm of drones, slightly larger than normal. One has like a little tranquilizer dart gun. Another one has like the anti-drone nets. Another one has like a shock cattle prod attached to it. And they start popping the balloons on the ship as you
These
pass
feel
over the
very
police station.
illegal.
Oh.
Greg is tired of these raccoons. Who's going next?
Brisket Jack, seeing that they're busy or that we're losing balloons, he was actually just about to remove his rat traps, but then he realized, no, wait, I can help. So he positions himself in the back of the cool bus, and he begins waving his hands and feet up and down to create more force behind the ship, to push it forward as we begin making our way towards the office buildings. And I think he was rather cunning to think of this idea.
I would agree. That sounds very cunning to me.
Desperately fanning.
4.
That is a 4. That is, use the ship's car, home appliance, or carnival ride in a flashy way. He fails deft and stylish. However, I'm going to play a complication as well.
Uh-oh.
So to succeed with this, so he's doing that, and we're moving, but the engine in the ship has to work a little bit harder because we've lost these balloons, and so it begins to overheat. And so he while in the middle of his paddling, he can smell the burning engine, so he decides to switch tactics, and he butt scoots his way across the ship, and then continues fanning with both hands and feet to cool the engine down so we can keep moving forward.
Oh no, the cool bus has become a hot bus.
That makes
Chris,
us go faster.
Where would you like to move the ship?
We will fly through, we'll start careening through downtown of the city and through the various office buildings.
Yeah, so there's everything is starting to get hot, whew, and there's the ka-tunk of things in the engine that shouldn't be making that noise. There's a couple more pops as the drones continue to pop balloons. SiSi, Kit's up.
Okay. Kit is gonna do her, now what is her signature move? And she's gonna make sure that the washer gets filled up with some water, and she's gonna start again with her tiny little raccoon hands, throwing water towards the engine to cool it down.
All right, and that is using the washing machine, which allows you to, for free, as your action, get rid of a complication.
Yeah.
And the engine is no longer overheating. It is no longer a hot bus. It is once again back to the cool bus.
Yeah.
And that's the top of the round. Who would like to go next? You're 2 spaces away from home. Who's going to bring you in? Erin and Hussey have both played complication cards, so I recommend not them.
I was going to say, I'll go again, and I'll start moving us towards the chemical plant. Because
Okay.
hopefully we can get some of the gas from the chemical plant will help us refill our balloons for that last leg to get back to our junkyard. And
Makes
I
sense.
think that's going to be a YOLO because we're going over a chemical plant. So we're gonna give that a shot and see how it goes.
I wish you luck.
This is a 3, which is not. It's hide from danger until it has passed, and it is sneaky and sensitive. So I failed that. But I think the thing that has happened here is on our way through here.
There's a complication card coming.
Yeah, unfortunately. Oh, I can't. I don't think I can play that one. We're gonna do this one.
I mean, you can play any of the ones you have.
We already have something affecting the rivets, though. So instead, the neighborhood watch, or a ship of rival trash animals, has us in their sights. And I think what happens is not only we make it to the chemical plant, but not only is the neighborhood watch behind us, I think the possum pirates have discovered my dupe, and they're deeply upset.
Pulled Pork Howard is very upset with you all. Raccoons! All right. And Kit is like, oh, crap, and ducks you guys into the smog of the chemical plant.
Nice.
Who would like to go next? See if they can bring you in home to the junkyard.
Alla. Wait, no. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alla doesn't have
No.
a...
Hasn't played a competition
I
yet.
have a card left.
Would you guys like me to metagame a little real quick for you? The
Absolutely.
school bus allows you, just like the washing machine, to do a free action without rolling. The school bus lets you find trash. Would anyone like to use the school bus to find trash before Alla potentially brings you into the junkyard? Maybe some kid had a sword pen at some point?
Yeah.
Do it, Jack.
I'll take a sword pen. So delirious, but yet still aware enough as we cut through a large swath of smoke. We happen to be going right by a window in the chemical plant office section, and it is open, and there on the desk is another sword letter opener. And thinking quickly, Jack grabs one of the seat belts from the cool bus and wraps it around his midsection, and using his rat trap hands and feet, glides out successfully, scoops up the sword like a true pirate in his mouth, and swings back into another window of the cool bus and sits back down as if nothing had ever happened.
And unfortunately, or fortunately for Brisket Jack, as he swings in, grabs the sword with his mouth, one of the rat traps or mouse traps on his foot also hits a bag that was on the desk, and it just somehow the bag gets wedged up inside the trap and swings back with you. And it is a Whataburger bag with a half-eaten honey barbecue chicken tender sandwich.
Yum.
And since that was a $20 donation, I don't know who made the donation. John, please
Kori.
give me a name. It was Kori.
Chopper.
Thank you, Kori. Chopper. Since it was $20 and buying an item is just $10, it also, for some weird reason, had a toy in it, even though Whataburger does not do toys.
It's a Last Airbender live action figure.
Yes. What would that be? Was that Burger King that had those?
Probably.
Yeah, they picked it up on discount.
All right. Alla, can you bring them home?
Yes. This surprise find of this honey barbecue chicken tender sandwich is exactly what we need. Hey, Eddie, I need you to take one for the team. And I'm gonna need you to eat the sandwich.
I'll do it. I'll do
All right.
it to get us home.
This is gonna be. I think this is cunning because we've already had a scientific experiment to see what kind of weird spicy foods affect Eddie. Unfortunately,
I could see YOLO since you know how these affect Eddie. You're taking your life into your own hands here.
Do we not know how the honey barbecue chicken sandwich is going to affect Eddie?
we don't know the specifics. You know what? That you're right. That is in fact a YOLO. We know how spicy Cheetos affect Eddie, but we don't know honey barbecue chicken sandwich. Ooh.
Ooh!
You know, it is a 1, which is manipulates something tricky, which is a cunning and a YOLO action. And honestly, Eddie, just you gotta take this one for the team. I know you don't want to repeat, but you really need to get this inside of your mouth.
So, Vibrissa realizes, oh, wait. We don't need to use the whole sandwich, and rips off a quarter of it to give to Eddie, which allows you to still keep a quarter of that as trash.
Nice. We only need a little bit, just a bite. Just put it in your mouth.
And you all have successfully made it back to the junkyard. I would like to point out, guys, on the trip home, it took you 10 minutes to get home, whereas it took you over an hour and a half to get to the house.
When you're being chased by drones, that's serious business.
We
It
were
is.
exploring.
All right. Final count. You all ended with 9 points of trash.
Ooh.
So let's see. According to the victory conditions table,
Ooh.
you are in the 8 to 10 range.
Ooh.
You are pirate royalty, the pride or envy of all in the junkyard. Junkyards throughout the metropolitan area know your names. They all dare to do greater things because of you. And if we were playing a longer campaign game, you would also get to pick one of the areas neighboring the junkyard. So the chemical plant, the electrical substation, or the one-day shipping warehouse, which you guys would get to claim as part of your pirate territory, which would count as a safe space for you where you can't be attacked. So if you're
funny.
booking it back home, you would also get to add one more quirk to the ship that you could play off of. But that being said, we are 23 minutes over where we were supposed to end. I am so sorry for the GM that's coming after us to close up the game. Sorry, librarian. If you have been watching us, this is Racoon. This is Racoon Sky Pirates by Hectic Electron. I highly recommend checking it out. You can pick it up on itch. They also have it on their website for fairly cheap. It is a very cute boxed game. I highly recommend it. Comes with stickers, a die, set of cards, some nice handouts. It is excellent.
It's a really great package.
For everyone that donated today, thank you so much. We have officially broken the $1,000 mark, and I think we ended up raising a little over $200 with this stream today. So thank you so much. I appreciate everyone that donated. I appreciate your time, and I also appreciate the players. Before we go, let's give one last round of go-arounds. I'm going to do an end credits scene of each of our raccoons with a piece of trash. Specifically, the treasures they tried to get, since all of you kind of made it home with your treasure. So, end credit scene with your treasure, your raccoon, and then we'll close this out and give it over to the librarian who has been patiently waiting. Who would like to go?
I'll go. Eddie is in his bunk, has his painting, and a new bucket has also been acquired for Rabies Eddie to gather materials for swamp gas, which will go away soon, he hopes.
Nice.
I'll go next. So Kit wraps up by taking both her Funko Pop of Sailor Moon and her Uraraka action figure, and she takes them and puts them on her comfiest cushion, and they sit together and they watch more anime. And anytime her sister walks in, she goes, "Told you I could do it," and then they move on.
Vibrissa may not have found the stars, but discovered that this flashlight is basically a star. It's so bright and amazing, and immediately takes it to the closest puddle, dips it in, and breaks it. Well, fart. I I think I'm gonna need a C battery, guys.
And Brisket Jack, we see a scene of him. He's standing with a Captain Morgan bottle that was already in the junkyard, but this one is empty, unlike the full one at the house. But he is standing next to it with his fast food wrapper cape, which came from Five Guys, so it's appropriately red. And he's standing there and he's imitating the pose with his new sword pen of the Captain Morgan bottle. And as he's attempting to do that, because he failed so many rolls, he stumbles and rolls down a pile of trash hill. But as he lands, he comes to a half-full bottle of probiotics, which he knows that probably rabies needs, and so he picks it up and goes to try and find them.
Nice. All right, players, let's go around, introduce ourselves one last time, and then we'll release the table to Fabula Ultima.
SiSi, you can find me in various places at Silencio. I don't know what else to say. Have a good one. Thanks for being here.
I'm Erin. I'm the other half of Skatebox Games. Bye. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
And I'm Alla, online as Allazilla, and be mindful of your trash. Seriously, just be good to the planet, y'all. Also, thanks for joining us.
And I'm Ted. I'm the other half of Escapebox Games with Erin, and I have been everyone that's not a raccoon in this game. And as Alla said, be mindful of your trash. You never quite know who's going to be going through it. Bye!
Wait, what about Hus?
Oh, fine. I guess I'll allow Hus to go. He's no longer
Okay.
cursed.
Yeah, I suppose. Yes, I have been and still continue to be Chris Hussey. You can find me on to Ixter at the Hussman. And you can also find me on the Bite Size Tales Flash Fiction audio podcast at bitesizetales.com. And yes, thank you so much for joining us.
Have fun at the next game.
Bye, y'all.